Oh,
Oh, maybe not.
too late. They heard it, bro.
Maybe we should have.
Yeah, you made me end.
I tried to angle the mic away.
Yeah, well, you might have,
You
but
know what? It kind of goes along with what we're talking about today, I
it,
suppose.
it is on point. It's on
Before we
brand.
get to that, though, we were just talking about this before we went live, right? But the number of people in the chat is way less than last week. And we noted we shortened the time, the buffer time between going live and
Yeah,
actually starting
the
by what,
prime,
5 minutes, right?
the prime
And lo
time.
and behold, yeah, lo and behold, there's less people around.
Yeah, the very people that were complaining about being too long last week aren't even here.
Yeah, I know they can't be bothered. They're not true fans.
Well, the real issue is they don't know what they're talking about.
That's also true. Unlike us, who definitely know what we're talking about.
Dude, we've been doing this for 11 episodes now.
Yeah,
we're pretty much
we're
veterans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
they have a day for us.
So, dang.
That's how people
I
work.
guess we get into it, right?
Yeah, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
Okay, so last week we had homework. We decided to do a food journal for the entire week to see what we're eating. I think it originated from the idea that I can't eat very much more than you, which as in hindsight, once I sat with it in my quiet hour, I realized that's almost absurd. The idea of that is probably absurd, because there's got to be days where you just eat like 2 things and you're done. But
Well, we're gonna find out.
yeah, we're gonna find out. So we recorded what we ate for 7 days, and I guess let's just get into it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Do you want me to
go
start
ahead.
the slideshow here, or how does that work?
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You want me? I'll go first. I'll go first, because
Okay,
then
sure.
we have. Oh shit! I'm moving stuff. Okay. Okay. Mine. Okay. Yeah, because then I'm really gonna get outshone anyways.
Right, you don't want to have to follow someone who put actual effort
It's
into
embarrassing.
something.
Listen, I wrote this on a pad just for you, buddy.
I know. I realized that you put forth any effort at all simply because you didn't want to be compared too unfavorably with what I did. Okay, but okay, go ahead.
No, this minimal effort was only because I have it like, I just write like I have that little like notepad where I just write everything down,
Mhm.
and it was like interwoven with like random Twitter links.
Yeah,
So it's
you
like
know what would have
this
been
is
good
impossible.
if you had recorded it as a captain's log, but that's whatever. All right, go ahead.
Captain's log, stardate 3:15. Okay, let me see. Display capture screenback. No, what am I doing? Display capture. Here we go. Here we go. This is what you get from me. So, this is pretty standard for me across
Okay,
the
we're
board.
gonna zoom. We gotta zoom in here, babe. No one has,
Here we go.
glasses
How
for
about this? How about this? Is that good? Can
Okay,
we read that?
readable. I can read it. kind
Okay.
of, yeah.
So, we start on Thursday. I should note that Wednesday night, because we decided Wednesday we would do it, and Wednesday night I ate something at like 3 a.m. So that's kind of just my schedule. Like maybe it was like 2 a.m. I don't know. Something late, right?
Okay.
So Thursday, wake up, 3 eggs with cheese, 2 waffles with peanut butter, whipped cream, strawberries, and syrup, a glass of milk. I think
Okay, it's a rich breakfast, but let's first off, what is your general wake up time so people know? Thursday is probably early, right? Because you had to go somewhere, but
Thursday I
What-
watch the kids. I watch my
Yeah.
niece and nephew, and I usually am there at like 1. But
Okay.
it's not really. I usually wake up between like 11 and like if it's bad like 1. But usually it's around like 11 or noon.
okay, just to keep that in mind. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. We're between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. exactly.
Yeah,
And then I
okay.
had a handful of so then I went to my
Degenerate,
sister's
both of you.
place. Yeah.
Okay.
And she had some Doritos that I wanted to try out. She got some like Flamin' Hot Doritos. Tried those out. Had a
Mhm.
handful of that. She
Okay,
made.
okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let's talk about what does a handful constitute to you? Is it literally what you can hold in your hand?
Yes, and it's not
Okay.
a packed hand. It's like I would say it's a serving size or less, which I think was like 11 chips.
So is it you can hold 11 Doritos in your hand?
You can't?
No.
If you have them,
Without breaking them?
well, you held it loosely. I mean, maybe it's less.
Hold
Maybe it's
on,
less.
loosely.
Maybe it's less. But like,
No one's getting that one. Okay, go ahead.
there's no like you can't, because if you stack them up, it's not. You just kind of have a loose
I don't
hold
know.
on
I
them.
feel like at 11 Doritos, you get a bowl. But okay, fine. Okay, well, fine. Let's go. We're going with it.
Okay. Then my sister made this Mexican rice with kind of like this cooked chicken, and this homemade cheese sauce she made. You put over the top. It was only half of a chicken breast, but it was a thick boy, so I bet you it was like, I don't know. It was good. It was a good portion. That was delicious. Thank you, sissy. And then I got home, had some crunch berries with milk. I measured it just because we were talking about that, and it's about 2 to 2.25 cups. My bowls of
Okay,
cereal.
and a serving size of Captain Crunch has got to be 3/4 of a cup.
No,
if
no,
at max,
I looked.
right?
The serving size was 1 1/3 cup, so it's like
Really?
it's like a
Okay.
1.5 serving.
Okay, fine.
And I go heavy on the milk. I always have milk to drink at the end.
Sure.
And then I had a sandwich, which includes turkey, lettuce, mayo, tomato, cheese, another handful of chips, and like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 strawberries.
Okay.
And that was my Thursday. And then I had, okay, so I don't want to spend too much time like really explain each
Yeah,
thing.
we're
but,
just hitting the major points here. Yeah.
I had
fine.
a medium portion. I didn't have a huge appetite when I woke up, but I had a medium portion of roast pork that I made earlier that week with potatoes, onions, and
That was
carrots.
breakfast, roast pork.
Yeah, sometimes
Okay.
I have regular food. But
Okay.
the thing is, it's not necessarily breakfast. It is breakfast, and it's my first meal of the day. I'm breaking the fast, but I probably ate this in the afternoon. It wasn't like right when I woke up.
Uh-huh.
I had a half Sammy because we only had enough stuff to make one sandwich, and I was making stuff for Knox as well, so we split the sandwich. Handful of chips, sliced up apple with peanut butter, 4 crackers and cheese, and then I later had a giant bowl of crunch.
Okay, when did we go to the store? You had enough for one sandwich in the house. Did that ever prompt between you and your brother a decision to like, hey, let's go shopping?
No, because we have other stuff. It just was like I was making a sandwich,
Okay.
and then I was like, well, Knox is probably hungry, so I'll get him. What I originally did was I made a sandwich for myself, and I was cutting up an apple, and I'm like, yeah, Knox is probably hungry. I'll cut him an apple with peanut butter, and then I had like the chips too, and I'm like, he'll have some chips, and then I'm like, well, I have a sandwich, he doesn't. I'll just give him some crackers and cheese, and then I got up there, I'm like,
Okay.
hey, do you want half the sandwich? And I'll
Okay,
just take some of the
so
crackers and cheese.
if we look at this, right? If we look at your Friday, and again, we're going to go quicker, but I really need to hammer this point home. It looks as if you had the day in reverse, okay? Because your breakfast is roast pork with potatoes, onions, and carrots, and your dinner, quote unquote, is giant bowl of the crunch.
Oh, yeah, it does. Friday, I think, is the one where I feel like I had something after the crunch, but I can't. I don't know. Maybe I forgot something there. I feel like Friday's the one where I forgot something, but maybe not.
Okay.
Or the
All right,
other
let's go.
possible asterisk. Saturday is the one that I had
Yeah,
to.
forgot something cool. All right, Saturday.
Saturday, 3 eggs with cheese, 2 waffles with peanut butter and syrup. I do love, like, obviously the waffles with syrup isn't
Calories
great.
on these things that you're consuming, but wild. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but this is okay. So then I went out with my friends. I wrote this down because this is right. I had 4 pints of
Right.
Bud Light, 3 shots of Goldschlager.
Pints?
Yeah, pints.
How many bottles is a pint?
So a can is 12 ounces. A pint is 16. So 2 pints
Okay.
is 3 cans.
Okay, fine.
So 6 cans of beer. That's
Okay,
that's kind of a good
Cool.
amount.
Just so I know, just so I'm aware. Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Moving on.
Got home, had the munchies. Had made hamburger helper, split that with Knox. Had a whole apple with peanut butter, some crackers and cheese. It was good.
Mhm. Then we did Clash.
Then we did Clash, and I'm positive I had something after that because I remember thinking like, dude, I ate all that and I drank enough today. Like I need to eat something else. I'm hungry, but I don't. Alcohol might
Okay.
have also.
It's a mystery meal. Okay. Cool.
Sunday, 2 eggs with
Next.
cheese, 2 waffles with peanut butter and syrup, 1.5 bowls of rice with Mexican white chili. This Sunday was Knox's birthday. We went to my sister's place. I had this,
Yeah.
and then we went over there. My mom made this for his birthday. I had a bowl. Was still kind of hungry. Got another half bowl. And then for his dessert, instead of cake, we had brownies with vanilla. Just one.
Okay.
one
And then
scoop.
you had dessert, and then somehow at some time after dessert, you decided to eat 8 taquitos.
Well, then I got home and I was hungry again. At
Yeah.
we get done at like 8 o'clock. I'm up until 2 a.m. You know?
You know what, Yuki, we're diving into this mystery. That's what this is for.
How do you eat more than me and I'm
Okay,
still fat?
next.
I don't know that this is that much. I mean, look at this
It's
right
not
here.
well, there's just not that much snacking going on, which is it's not that surprising to me, but I guess maybe a little bit. But okay.
Monday, I wake up. I was like, I gotta cook something today, and like, you know, I don't feel like cooking anything right now, so I just had Pop-Tarts with a cup of milk.
Mhm.
And then in the afternoon, I made chili. So I had a big bowl of chili with 7 saltines.
Yeah.
After I had some Oreos with a cup of milk, it's just 3 Oreos. And then I was hungry again, had a medium bowl of chili with cheese, 5 saltines.
12 saltines on the day? Now you're sounding like me.
Well, yeah, but look what else I ate. Pop-Tart and 3 Oreos and some
I
milk.
know,
It's like
very little. The meals themselves are shitty, but then but there's just not that many of them.
wait, hold on. Let me do something real quick because I want to show you guys. So my chili, like I think when I say chili, people probably think like the default chili, which is like mostly meat and beans. My chili is like it's the chili I had grown up. It's my dad, like he always would make it. It's more of a, I looked it up. It's more of an American goulash apparently. So it has a little more fill to it, I think.
Ghoulish.
I love it. It's so fucking good. Let me get a picture here real quick, just so you guys know what I'm talking about with this. Yeah, it's kind of like this. Let me bring it over. It's kind of like this. How do I? It's bigger. You guys see this? Yeah, it's kind of like this. It's like tomatoes, beans, ground beef. There's peas in mine, and then macaroni noodles. Put some cheese on there with some saltines. Ooh, some spices. It's delicious. Tuesday. So yeah, so this is where you're gonna see that I cook once and eat a lot. And then Tuesday I did a large bowl of chili with cheese, 7 saltines. Knox had these things he got from his birthday, the little mini Butterfingers. They're like just like a little square. I had like 6 of those.
Yeah,
I was just
they're like
mowing
half
those.
a fun size.
Yeah, half a fun size. I had like 6 of those. I just was mowing them. They were delicious. And then I had another bowl of chili, and then 5 Oreos and milk. And then this morning we went to Costco, and
5 Oreos.
Yeah, 5. I went for 5 that time. Went to Costco, and then I go with my sister because she has a membership, and then she's with her niece and nephew.
And when you say milk, what are you pouring? 8 ounce, 16 ounce, what?
Probably like 8, maybe a bit more. Not 16.
Okay.
Not a pint. Definitely not a pint.
You said a pint was 12.
No, a pint is 16. A
You're
can
right.
is 12.
I lied.
So then I got a foot-long hot dog and a large slice of pizza, and then
scroll, kid.
This is it. Oh, I'm sorry. I see. Okay, here, let me bring it. There we go. Foot-long hot dog, large slice of pizza, and half of a mocha freeze thingy from Costco food court.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
What?
All right. Okay, cool.
That's it.
That was it. All of today. Well, I guess today didn't finish yet. So
yeah, no, I'm gonna have some chili later.
Half a mocha freeze thing.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but they're delicious. I got a little caffeine in me. That's why I'm a little uppy.
Okay. Now, what are your takeaways from this week?
My takeaways?
This food journal, yeah. Because I have a whole page of takeaways from the week of the food journal. So
what do you mean, like reflecting on what you did?
Not, or like any conclusions you drew, or things that surprised you. Or anything.
Yeah, okay. Well, what surprises me is some of these. I'm like, this is 2 meals. Tuesday, these are just 2 meals. That's my whole fucking day. Yeah, I had like some snacks in between. I need to know how many calories are in my bowls of chili.
Yeah. Also, I wouldn't even call 6 mini Butterfingers a snack. I mean, it is a snack, but it's like, that would not tide me over in between a meal. I need something else.
Wasn't. So really how this went was like I had the bowl of chili, and while I was scooping it and reheating it, I just grabbed like 3 or whatever. And then the second time I did the same thing when I got it again. So it was like,
so no snacks, no food at all in between these.
I guess not, no. But I mean, I think this is a lot of calories. Like this fills the belly. I mean, it's pasta.
You know what
beef.
would have helped is if
I wrote the time.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
But okay, cool.
I wasn't thinking I should have done that.
Anything else before we get to
I also, like midway, I reflected. I was thinking I probably should have wrote down. I would have been interested for myself to know how much water I drink each of these days.
Yeah, I did not record water either.
I wish I would have written that down.
did you feel like keeping the journal um encourage you to eat less?
No,
Did you find yourself eating less because of the journal?
no, nothing changed at all.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
exactly how
cool.
I'd operate anytime. Really,
Okay.
really, all it was like when I like, especially when I was like not at home, like when I went and ate at my sister's, I was like, oh shit, I gotta remember, and I'd like open up my phone and write it down because I didn't want to forget.
Okay. All
But yeah,
right.
it didn't affect me at all. Okay, everybody, are we doing
All
the
right. That's next. That I mean, sorry. That says his food
how,
journal.
how, how?
I don't know.
You don't
I
even
don't
know him
know.
without me.
I just the last thing I saw from Miss Merck was "Happy late birthday to Knox," and it got stuck in my head.
Oh yeah,
Besides,
okay.
I have to physically, I have to not physically, I have to like actually think about calling you Says because I never do. All right,
Yeah.
it's just for the show.
Oh, you can call me base, dude. People get used to it.
No, they're not. It's
Also,
not.
I am
That's
based.
not who you are here. I know you are, but that's. I'm not going to get into an existential argument about it.
Okay, do I click the
All right.
slideshow? Start slideshow?
Yeah, start the slideshow. Well, can we fit it here to the window or what's happening?
Oh
Oh,
wait.
you zoomed in, remember? Or is that not is that different?
Oh yeah. Oh shit. No, hold on. Mm,
You
this.
can't go through the whole thing, bro.
I'm not. Hold on. God, we should have practiced this.
Yeah, if you it's as if someone asked about it
How's this?
beforehand.
How's this look? Center it a
I mean,
little
it's
bit.
off. Okay, that's fine.
This should show it all
Okay.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
I decided to make a little PowerPoint presentation with
Isn't that
my
cute, chat?
yeah. Um competing with the motherfucker who just puts it in a notepad. Okay. All right. Next. Next slide. When I say next, I mean go to the next slide.
Yeah, yeah. I went. You probably have a little bit of delay.
Yeah, I do have delay.
Look at Stas. Look at this cutie
Yeah,
patootie.
here's me. Fresh photo.
Throwing back to Yuki, what you said about how your little centerpiece goes away when you talk. That actually happens in your life as well.
Yeah, the soul patch.
Yeah, Soul Patch disappears when he opens his mouth.
Okay, next.
Look at them little toes, huh?
I decided, yeah, these feet are small, but guess what? I'm not a large, well, I'm not a tall man.
Look at these little
Okay, so I
teeth.
decided to start off by weighing myself, um, so we could get a better idea of like where I'm at, and then I ended up, what all that food during the week ended me up at.
Yeah.
So we started at 192, which is big. Okay, I'm in a period of my life where I'm the biggest I've ever been, and this is part of why we're keeping the food journal because I don't understand why. Because I used to be worse. I used to
Wait, this
be
is the biggest you've
real bad.
ever been?
Yes.
No shot. Weren't you like the smallest you've ever been when we first started hanging out again?
Yes, no, not the smallest I've ever been, but I was smaller. So my previous big weight, quote unquote big weight, was 185 or something,
When you
right? But I was eating a box of hot tamales and a box of bottle caps. You know those candies, the bottle
bottle
caps
caps are
like
trash.
fizzy.
Hot tamales are fire. Go on.
Yeah, I was eating a box of each a night.
Oh,
Okay,
I mean
and
that's a lot of.
I was going to like a burger joint, a hot dog place, and getting 3 burgers, a foot long, and fries.
What was the name of that place?
It was called Ted's.
Yeah, Ted's
Okay, but
Pinks.
anyway. Okay, so that was my starter weight. All right.
Yep.
Let's start day 1, Thursday.
Look at, I love this regimented.
Okay, with timestamps and bullet points. So
Beautiful.
we started out this morning with some cornflakes, oat milk, which I actually kind of got used to. It's not as bad as it seemed, although there's calorie wise, it's very similar to actual milk. So I'm not really sure I'm gaining anything out of it, but fine. And I add a little sugar onto the cornflakes, so they're actually, you know, okay to eat.
Yeah.
Then I have a little snack at 11, which is a handful of oyster crackers, which is literally, oyster crackers I can hold in my hand. Okay. So that's what my handful is. You're going to see a lot of it. So get ready. My standard lunch on weekdays is a romaine salad, which is romaine lettuce, carrots, and red cabbage.
Like shredded carrots in the salad?
Yes,
Yeah.
shredded carrots and red cabbage in the salad. It's basically the bag shit you buy at the grocery store.
Sure.
And I got some light ranch. I put some light ranch dressing. Um, and I have about 3 servings of that. So it's almost an entire bag per day. Not quite, because a bag is 3.5 servings.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of salad.
It's a lot of salad. Yeah, that's my veggies for the day, pretty much.
Well, it's not
Then,
bad.
as a dessert for my salad, I have 2 cookies, right?
What's normal size?
Um,
like an Oreo or like a chocolate chip cookie from the oven?
like an Oreo or a Chips Ahoy. Those are what normal size would be. They're
Those
similar
are
to size.
small to me, but go ahead.
Okay, they're still. I would consider that normal, but that's fine. 2 normal size cookies. Now, okay, we'll get to that later. Then Thursday I have dinner at my sister's, and as soon as I got off work at 4, I went over there and I had a serving of before dinner because I usually eat at 4 p.m. and I was hungry.
Oh
So I
yeah.
had a serving of kettle chips, and they have this 3-berry juice over there that's 60 calories a serving. I had a glass of that. It was good. Dinner was air fried breaded shrimp, baked potato, and some more of that juice. I am in charge of bringing the dessert. So, well, there was a little piece of chocolate in there, but I brought sugar waffles. You know what those are?
I don't. What is? I was gonna ask
They're
you that.
like these big honeycomb looking things with powdered sugar sprinkled on top of them.
Honeycomb looking things with powdered sugar.
Yeah, imagine a giant honeycomb. Okay,
Like the cereal honeycomb, or
yes, like imagine the cereal that's like a giant, just a giant version of it with powdered sugar on top.
okay. And is it soft then?
No, it's flaky.
It's like a croissant.
Kinda. It's stiffer, but also flaky. Okay.
Sounds good.
It's good. Anyway, and then I paired it with some indie pop, Jones soda.
Stop with the indie pop.
It's indie pop. Not to be confused with Iggy Pop.
Or the whole genre of music.
It was berry lemonade. The flavor was berry lemonade. It was bright blue. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a shot. It was pretty good. All right, next.
Okay.
Friday.
Ooh, no breakfast.
I skip breakfast most of the time here. We start off the day with the romaine salad. Then we go into the cookies. Then someone was going to the grocery store and they're like, "You want anything?" I'm like, "Okay, get me 2 rolls. Get me 2 fresh rolls, please." Because it was kind of the weekend by Friday, and I only do bread on the weekend.
Did you also take off Friday?
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
so
off. Yes, correct.
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
So I had 2 rolls, and then for dinner was chicken breast with a little bit with a barbecue sauce for dipping.
course.
Then in the evening was another handful of oyster crackers, cookies, a small bowl of pistachios, and 20 calories worth of drank, which is basically like low calorie Kool-Aid.
Okay, with only 1 gram of sugar and yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How big are these rolls? What are we talking with these rolls?
They're like dinner sized rolls. They were like
ones you get at like
they're
hot
Kaiser
lunch?
rolls. Yeah.
Like
I don't know what that
it
means.
fit in the palm of your hand?
No, not that small. A roll you'd have a sandwich in, I guess.
Okay. And you just have that by
Um,
itself? You don't put anything on it or anything?
No, when it's fresh, when it's baked that day, you just eat the fucking roll.
Just
It's
like
glorious.
a warm, buttery roll?
Yeah. Okay, Saturday is my big bread day. Saturday is my shopping day, so I go do my shopping that morning, and I'm stocked with food. So
And you
of
treat
course I'm going
yourself.
to be eating a lot. Yeah, sure. So for breakfast, there's 3 rolls.
450 calories for 3 rolls?
Yes, so these are called garlic Tuscan rolls, and they're basically like they're each roll is like the size of your fist. Okay. They're about the size you and 2 other people in the chat are going to understand what I'm about to say, but they're about the size of the Swiss chalet rolls.
Yeah.
You know those rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like that. But anyway, they're brushed with the garlic oil and salted a little bit.
Garlic oil or garlic
They're
butter?
Oil.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, maybe it's melted garlic butter, which would be garlic oil. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. If it's butter, it's butter. Oil is
Yes,
like
from Wegmans. Anyway. What was I
jerky.
gonna say?
You got some jerky?
Yeah, I bought some. I don't get jerky all the time, but I was in the mood, so I got some. Especially because you're like, "Where's your protein?" You know,
You're-
like,
yeah.
okay, well, I'll show you protein. You know.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here because I'm looking all the way down the list. Good thing you had that jerky, Stas. You have no other protein in here.
I have chicken.
Where?
Okay, never mind.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so then you had a glazed donut and some more drink. I had just bought 2 cans of
There it is. There it is. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. So we had I had 3 servings of Pringles, which was about 14 Pringles. For dinner, I had more of the same rolls. I get 6 rolls, 3 for breakfast, 3 for dinner, more cookies, handful of oyster crackers. Okay, going. This is there's nothing that exciting happening in my diet.
Well, I'm looking at this one specifically. You literally only have 4 ounces of jerky for protein.
Yeah, on this particular day.
Yeah, but that's insane. There's. Okay, we're going on. We're moving.
Yeah, we gotta move. We gotta move.
This is blowing my mind. I would like. Okay.
What are you? Okay.
7.
What is the problem here?
What is the problem here? You lived off of fucking rolls and Pringles all day. There is no nutrition in here. You have no fucking protein. Okay, we're moving forward.
9 a.m. A sesame bagel with grass-fed butter.
Ooh.
More jerky and some drink.
Nice.
More Pringles.
I can't believe
Then I have some apple snacks.
Stop with the apple snack.
Which is 2 apples cut up and some cinnamon sprinkled on top. And you can add a little sugar for taste if you want, but you don't have to. And yes, it's basically like the filling of an apple pie without baking an apple pie, right?
And no butter.
And what?
No butter. I feel like there's butter
whatever.
in apple pie.
Who gives a shit? Because I'm talking about apple snack.
I don't know why you're calling it apple snack. It's just apples with cinnamon. It's cinnamon apples.
I made up a name and we go with it. What is the problem?
All right. When I think of a snack, I think of there's like some sort of mix to it. It's not just one spice.
We gotta do an aside here. Miss Merck called me out for having a lot of starches, and it's a thing. It's an issue of mine. I love starches to the point where, as a joke, me and my older sister, we joked that my rapper name would be Lil Starch.
Low starch.
Yeah, Lil Starch. Anyway, okay.
That's so good.
So afternoon, more pistachios, oyster crackers, and more drink.
Okay.
And then for dinner, another bagel with grass-fed butter and 2 cookies. Then more Pringles and then more cookies.
Okay, yeah. That's a great one too, bud.
It's the weekend. That's my time for enjoyment. Okay?
Bro, you had 8 ounces of protein over 2 days. Okay, we're going.
Day 5. Things are grim. 11:30, more oyster crackers. I don't know why was my lunch so delayed today? I don't know. More romaine salad, yes. And I had an orange and 2 slices of fresh Italian bread.
Yeah,
they were good.
Yummy. You put butter on that?
No, they were fresh.
Oh, right. Fresh, no butter,
bread.
yeah.
I only use butter when the butter's going to melt.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So on toast or on a bagel, when the butter will melt because it's hot, that's when I use butter. I don't want non-melted butter on my stuff.
Oh, okay. You need to soak in.
Yeah, it's got to soak.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not the Mormon soak.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that too.
Dinner was chicken breast again with some barbecue sauce. I had a baked potato with also grass-fed butter and 2 cookies. Pringles for Pringles at 5.
Nice.
Then later in the evening, some more apple snack.
Yeah.
Handful of oyster crackers at 10, and then
1 a.m. Ooh.
I fucked up on Monday. I could not fall asleep because of Sunday because we played Gartic Phone at 3 a.m. and I should have just went to bed. Okay, but I could. So being up and then sleeping at that late messed my sleep schedule up. So
little bit messed you up that good, huh?
Yes, I have to. It has to be regimented.
Not to point fingers here, but Chloe Ducky in chat, you're part of the problem.
No, Gartic Phone was a good time. It was fun.
It was very fun.
I had a good time with it. However, it was just too late for my old ass. Okay. So 1 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep. I had gone up to bed like 2.5 hours earlier and nothing. So I went downstairs, had a bunch of Pringles. We're talking like 2 servings, some cookies, and drank.
You really just went all out on it, huh?
Yeah, I fucking pigged out. And I so rarely eat that late at night because go to bed so early.
Yeah.
Next. Tuesday.
This is where we bring it back.
Yeah, we bring it back to salad. Okay. More Pringles. Again, I don't buy a variety of snacks, so it's only the 1 or 2 snacks.
Pringles, oysters, cookies, and pistachios. That's the choices. Throwing an apple here and there.
I don't buy the Pringles every week either. Sometimes I buy popcorners. Sometimes I
Ooh,
buy
yeah,
barbecue
popcorn's good
chips.
too.
Sometimes whatever, Oh, also, Miss Merck, it's sour cream and onion Pringles, which is the only viable flavor of Pringles, in my opinion.
Sour cream and onion Pringles?
Yes, they're the by far the best.
I mean, I'm not
Anyway,
huge on Pringles to begin with.
well,
They're
that's
mid.
fine. You do you. You're big on
I'm big on
mornings
chili.
morning stew here. Yeah. Okay. Dinner was chicken breast again, more cookies, handful of oyster crackers, and I didn't have apple snack that night. I had a big ass apple. Pizzazz. They were pizzazz apples. I never had one. They're pretty good.
I
Not my
like
favorite,
apples.
but they're good.
I like apples. Can we let me ask you this. Do you
What?
know like the rough average size of these chicken breasts you're having?
Yeah, they're about 8 ounces.
Okay. Yeah. I-
Okay, Wednesday. We're on the home stretch, and in fact, we're on the last day.
Or the morning
I
of.
finished off the Pringles today, which is 2 full cans from Saturday to now.
Mm-hmm.
More oyster crackers, which was essentially my breakfast.
Breakfast of champions.
Romaine salad. Oh, I discovered this morning. This was a late breakfast because I had a doctor's appointment at 9, where I discovered I don't have a hernia, which is great news for me.
Nice. Let's go, buddy.
And then lunch, the same shit. More oyster crackers, and then today for dinner I had chicken breast breaded with barbecue chip crumbs, which is
That sounds
so good.
that sounds delicious.
Yeah, it is very good. And then
And 2 cookies.
I fouled it up with 2 cookies. Okay.
Hold on. We started at 5. You had 2 cookies as we. Oh, you're an hour ahead.
Yes, I'm an hour ahead, bro.
Okay, well.
So now drum roll. Okay, next slide.
With that face. What happened here?
After all those Pringles and all those carbs, I somehow managed to lose 3.5 pounds.
We need to discuss how somehow this diet made you lose weight. What were you doing before?
Okay. So, okay, go to the next slide. We'll talk about that during the conclusions. Yeah, next.
Nice. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, here's a random pic of mine.
I like this hat. It looks very warm and soft.
I started wearing it as a joke, but it grew on me.
Yeah. Just like the fedora, huh?
Yeah, shut up. Next.
Conclusions. Ooh, okay.
Okay, so one, the food journal, it actively discouraged me from eating completely random shit because I would be like, I don't want to write this down. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
got to tell people about this.
Yeah.
And one of the I don't know, I'm a little on both sides of the fence about how that made me feel. I liked that it made me reduce my overall intake, but it harkens back to a time that wasn't healthy, where I didn't have a good relationship with food.
You don't want to have the guilt associated with eating, you're saying?
Yes, correct. So one of the biggest drops, right, is when you saw those 2 cookies, all those 2 cookie instances.
Yeah, those
in
should have been
the
4.
log. Yeah, those were normally 4.
I mean, yeah, the thing is, I mean, that's kind of like the compromise, right? There's got to be a middle ground between being guilty or feeling guilty about eating and this stuff, and being a little more conscientious of this stuff.
Sure, but the thing was, when I got at my absolute lowest of my adult weight, which was 148,
You're miserable.
I would literally feel bad about eating any kind of snack.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I think there should be room for snacking regardless of anything, right? There has to be. Like, you don't want to feel like a piece of, like, then what the fuck is the point of living at that point,
Sure. So I was also surprised at the amount of weight I lost. I think I didn't want to lose that much that fast, because you're supposed to lose like 1-2 pounds a week,
Yeah.
at most. But I got the journal gave me a good overall idea of what I was taking in, so that I could make decisions about cutting things out or adding stuff in or whatever the fuck I want to do.
Well, right. Yeah. It's this goes back to the thing I was saying, where if it gets measured, it gets managed, and just seeing it allows you to manage it however you see fit.
There was a severe lack of baked goods this weekend, which was also a big factor because normally there's some cupcakes or there's a cake or there's a
Hold on.
something or there's a whatever. Okay. But um my mom, who usually bakes something every weekend, was out of town. So
So
there
you're
wasn't nothing
saying
baked.
the weekend of fucking 8 ounces of protein is usually has more more fucking carbs in it?
Yes.
Oh, you need some protein in your diet, brother.
Have chicken every day.
8 ounces.
Almost. Except on the weekend.
Eight
And
ounces
I did have
isn't a
some
ton.
turkey. I do eat some nuts.
Yeah, nuts aren't bad,
Anyway,
but it's not consistent.
I think on the whole, I want to keep doing it just because it really helped keep myself in check. And
That's
so I
cool.
can make better decisions in the future. You know, maybe cut out. I mean, not cut out, but replace some of those handful of oyster crackers with something else.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
maybe some
that's
protein.
I think that's a good idea for sure. Oyster crackers, the problem with crackers, and like I eat them too, obviously, like right, they're good, but like when it's your filler, that like all these processed carbs. Again, I'm not a fucking health expert, but as far as I understand, it's just like super empty. There's empty calories. There's nothing going on there, right? Because it's water and fucking wheat, salt.
Yeah. It's not great, but
No.
it has the good mouth feel, right?
Yeah.
It tastes right, and
Yeah.
it's satisfying.
Well,
But
how much?
it's satisfying in a way that a handful of almonds is not satisfying. Like I understand, you know,
How much of that do you think is like habitual? Like you could quote unquote train out of that and find something else, a better mouthfeel or like a comparable or like enjoyable in a different
I
way.
don't know. I'm not trying to do a fucking Rocky 4 style montage
Well, you
to
don't
get a
have to
better
do.
mouth to train myself to get a better mouth
You don't have
feel
to do.
on almonds.
I'm not saying that, but like it's clear that you can make you're not only can you, but you're willing to make changes to get results that you're also happy with, without compromising too much. Like it can be both,
Sure.
right?
Yes, there can be changes. One of the biggest issues is, and I think I touched on this last week, is that carbs for me are comfort, right?
Yeah.
So like I go to them because they give me that feeling I'm craving. And a lot of people are like, well, just replace those with, some cashews or
Right.
almonds or whatever. And it's like, babe, I eat cashews and almonds. I like cashews and almonds, but they do not satisfy at all. I never have a handful of cashews and be like, damn,
Are you
oof,
saying
I hit the
okay?
spot.
When you say satisfy, is it satisfying like a tongue craving or like a brain craving, or is it like satisfying like a hole in your stomach?
All the above.
Really, all of them? For me,
Maybe less so tongue.
I find like when I have cravings, a
Less
lot of
tongue.
a lot of times it'll be like the incorrect craving. Like I'll be hungry and my stomach will be empty. Like I know it's empty and I need to eat because I haven't eaten. And my brain or my tongue will be like, shit, we just pile down like 5 Oreos, right? And I can eat it and I don't have like the weight side effects of it really. But I can tell when I eat like that, I feel like shit. Like I get very fog brainy if I don't have like this is something I've realized in the past couple of years, and maybe it's age catching up with me. But if I'm not conscientious about eating more protein regularly, I get super foggy headed. I get like it's hard for me to focus. I can feel like super ill to the point where like I need to take like a nap or like lay down from it.
Sure.
And this is the kind of also especially if the carbs are like high in sugar. If I eat a lot of sugar and I don't get protein or I don't get other stuff with the sugar, and maybe I'm like pre-diabetic or some shit. I don't know.
I think one of the biggest improvements I can make is that I used to drink protein shakes, and I
Ooh,
still
yeah.
do occasionally. But if I feel like if I add them in regularly or semi-regularly, it would probably be a big help because they're
Yeah.
pretty filling.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So I'd be able to go a longer time without eating again or whatever.
Yeah.
I was for a while having eggs in the morning, which was fine. In fact, 2 eggs kind of satisfied until lunch, for a few hours
Yeah, for
until,
sure.
but I got so sick of them. So I'll probably work those in a little bit more in the future.
That's
But we'll
that's
see.
kind of I'm the same way. Like I think I think it showed in my even in this past week where I'll be like big on doing eggs in the for breakfast, and then I'll like go like I'll go through phases. Well, I'll do eggs every day, or like eggs and waffles every day for like 5 days, and then I won't do them for like a week or whatever. Like I definitely go through phases with them. But the reason I really like them is because the eggs in the morning definitely like makes me feel super full and satisfied for a long period of time. And they're tasty. I like how they taste.
Okay.
It's cool.
Well, that was our food journals. Homework completed.
That was cool.
And I already have another homework assignment for both of us next week, but we'll get to that later in the show. How about that?
Ooh, do I know about this?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's on top of your homework. We both have our own homework assignments.
Ooh.
For each other, I guess.
Let me read chat here a little bit. I have bananas sitting on my counter right now, waiting for them to overripen so I can make banana bread. Some with nuts, some with chocolate chips, some with both. Gonna make monster cookies and maybe sugar cookies or something. I mean, sweets are delicious.
My preference for bananas is banana cake.
Really?
Probably because I'm a fatty, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like banana cake
is requested like a lot. So
I feel like banana cake and banana bread isn't too far off from each other, at least ingredient wise.
Yes, I mean consistency wise, there's differences.
Yeah, but like ingredient wise, I feel
probably
like
not.
Similar. When I was on my keto, I was using 100% of my brain and I was never tired. I have heard multiple people say good things about keto, but I've also heard that as soon as you get out of keto, like it just all comes back. And it's like, well, do you want to be on keto the rest of your life?
Yeah, I'm not trying to give up bread for the rest of my life.
Right.
So it's never going to work for me.
Yeah.
In fact, fresh bread, ooh, it's like one of my greatest joys. Okay. Especially because, I don't have the love of a good woman. All I have is bread and loneliness. You know what? And I'll take it.
And the bigger the loneliness, the more bread he has to consume.
Well, that's not what that's trying. I'm trying not to do that.
You're trying not to like create that. That's a bad habit in a different way.
Okay. So let's just jump right. We don't do transitional material here. All right. Let's just jump into our.
We take tangents.
Topic. Okay. And this we are going to tell a story. Okay. But what's going to happen is I'm going to interrupt you constantly with questions because you've told me the brief synopsis of the outline of this whole tale.
Oh, is this my Saturday tale?
So many questions, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Wisconsin video poker.
Wisconsin video poker.
Okay.
Could
tell us about your Saturday.
Okay. So Saturday, my buddy's like, hey, I'm going over to this bar that's near you. Let's go get a drink. I'm like, okay. I can have one or two. So we go out there, and the thing is, let me start by saying this. Me and this friend, when we go out and have some drinks, most times, more times than not, we'll put money into a gambling machine together, right? And so by gambling machine, I'm talking about like it's just like a little slot machine. You put money in. They're at like every bar in Wisconsin. They're at like every bar in Wisconsin, and you put your money in. You gamble it, whatever, and if you win, you get to go and cash it out, and the bar pays you or whatever. Usually what we end up doing is we'll have a couple drinks. We'll both put like 10 in. We'll put 10 in each, and we'll just gamble it together, and then we split the winnings. It's just kind of like a fun thing we do. I don't know.
Sure.
Mini gambler addicts.
Yeah.
So this time we had a couple drinks, and we each put in 10, and we lost it all, right? So it's like whatever, that happens. And then me, I had a couple drinks. I was a little deep. I was feeling good, and I was like, okay, fuck it. Do you want to put some more in? He's like, no. I'm like, I'm putting this in.
Before you go, hold up, Jim. I don't know if you're trying to shame me, but yeah, I did. I had 7.
Wait, 7 what?
7 what? Rolls? I believe it was 8. Okay, but go ahead.
Just a little drinks. Oh.
No, I didn't count water.
Oh, no. Jim's talking about me. Jim's talking about me. I had 7 drinks. Yeah.
You had 7. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is true. I had a couple drinks. Okay. I had a couple 7.
Yeah. Don't be turning. Yeah, great point, Jim. You turned 7 into a couple. Okay. First off.
Well, no, but here's the thing. I had a couple, then I gambled, then I had a couple more.
Yeah. Okay. So you each threw in $10. You went down the hole, right? And now what happened?
And that's normal stuff. That's whatever. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking,
easy shit.
oh, Jim, thank you again.
Wow,
Thank you for
Jim
enabling.
subbed the boat play. Look at this.
Yeah, that's the guy we wanted on too. Bullybot.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, buddy. So I had all I had was a $50 bill in my wallet, and I'm not, it's a cash thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, hey, do you want to do more? And he's like, no, I'm done. I'm out. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna put it in. Fuck it.
Okay.
I've had a
stop.
couple in me.
Stop. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going. I have a vague idea of your finances. Okay.
Sure. Well, let me
$50.
let me say this. When I put
Are you throwing away $50?
no. Let me clarify this. I only had a $50 bill. I didn't want to go and break it, so I put in the 50 with the intention of I'm going to spend 20 of it, and I would 100% cut it off at that.
You couldn't have gone to the bar, which the video poker machine is probably right next to, or even built into, and said, "Hey, can I get 2 20s and a 10?"
Yeah, I didn't want
video poker
Yeah, I didn't want to
machine?
do that.
Okay, you put $50 into this machine, and then not 3-4 days later on Tuesday, you tell me I'm not going to spend $30 on a video game I'm going to play for 4 hours.
Yeah, there's no return on that video game.
Yes, you have gambler brain. What is the?
Of course, I have great gambler brain.
50.
No one gambles that doesn't have gambler brain. Then they just don't gamble. I 100% have gambler brain.
Okay, 50. Okay, $50.
But I wasn't gonna spend the full 50. Okay.
Great.
And
okay,
you have to remember, I'm a couple drinks deep. Okay, I'm a little looser.
Okay, yeah, you're loosey goosey. You put
Loosey-goosey.
$50 in the machine. Continue, please.
I put $50 in the machine, and almost immediately I won like a little chunk. I got the free game or whatever, and I go up to so I put 50 in. I go up to like 65, right?
Mhm.
And so then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just gamble it back down to 60. I'll cash out at 60. Then I'm up 10, and that recovers the 10 that I spent with my friend. I get out, even. Cool.
Even.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I go back down to 60, cash out, and I go to redeem
when
it.
you cash out, when you cash out, it gives you, what does it give you, a voucher that you have to redeem?
Yeah, you get a little print and you bring it to the bartender.
Gotcha. Okay, next.
So you go to the bar, and at most bars that I've been at, they just give you the cash right away. But a handful of bars, like once in a while, you get a bar that would be like, I'm gonna write this thing out or whatever. You have to come back and cash it a different day. And I think that's just the gimmick is we get you back in and you drink again, right? And it works, right? And so
let me just stop. I'm gonna stop you again. Okay. Okay. You want to cash in $60, 50 of which is yours that you brought into the bar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the bar tells you, we're not giving you your money now. You have to come in next week at a minimum. Okay?
Well, it could be tomorrow. It could be the next day.
Well, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask the adults in the chat, what is your immediate response to them not willing to give you your money right there?
Miss Merck already said it. That doesn't sound legal.
Because the immediate response is, oh, hell no, give me my money. Okay? You cannot legally withhold my cash. Get the fuck out of here.
Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe it's a Wisconsin thing. But the thing is, it's not the first bar I've seen do that. I guess I never really questioned it.
Okay, so here's the deal. How are you so flush with money that you aren't questioning why you're not getting your $50 back?
I'm not flush with money. So usually what I do is cash is like my going out money. If like I have cash and I like, that's how I like contain how much I spend. I know how much I'm going to spend. If I do a card, which I have, like I'll rarely do a card, but then all of a sudden you start having a couple of drinks and you're like, yeah, I'll buy that, or I'll do a round, and then all of a sudden you look and you're like, you spent $40. It's like, that's fucking absurd.
Right.
So my internal limiting is to have I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, let me also stipulate this.
Hit him with it, Jim. Okay.
Jim, let me also stipulate this, okay? My friend and I can go to the bar and we'll buy each other beers back and forth. And these beers are like, it's $5 for 2 beers, right? And him and I can buy them back and forth, and it'll be like $5 to $10, and we both will have our fill. Now, my friend's girlfriend only does shots. She loves shots. Shots. So every time she fucking gets shots, she buys them for everyone, right? And I'll say no to like sometimes, but like that's how I end up doing the extra 3 shots on top. Like I probably didn't need any of those shots.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what, we need to. I'm gonna corral you back in here. Yeah, it was excessive, but anyway. So when he's telling me this story, I'm like, is gambling legal in Wisconsin? Because that doesn't make sense to me. So we looked it up. I looked it up,
Yeah.
and it turns out that bars can have up to four gambling machines in their establishment without it being considered a casino. So anything four or below is quote unquote legal.
I think that
They're
got
not going to
changed
do
in the
anything to you.
90s. I think before that it was like
They
this whole
changed
thing.
it to that. Yes, they
Yeah.
changed. Tommy Thompson,
Yeah.
your governor at the time, changed that
Rest in
to the.
peace.
Yes. So
I don't know if he's
anyway,
dead.
so it is having the machines there is technically legal. And so okay, so the bartender or whoever says, "Hey, we can't give you the money now. You got to come back." Now, one of my next questions was, "How often do you go out?" And to which your reply was what? Once every couple of months?
Is that what you asked me? I don't remember. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is what happens. This is usually how it goes. Again, I'm big on like I go through phases. So there'll be times where I'll start going out like once, maybe even twice a week for like a couple months, and then I'll rein it in and not go out for like a couple months, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's just kind of, I don't know why. It just kind of depends on what I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to
you're
do
in
or whatever.
drinky phase right now.
Not super. I mean,
So okay,
before
this. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so before this time, the last time I drank, I think it was like February 18th because that was my friend's birthday. Maybe there was one time between there.
Yeah. Okay, so that was about a month ago.
Right. So I mean, I would say that's pretty spaced out for me. It's not a full break. It's not like 3-month break, but it's like pretty. I mean, once every 3 weeks or 2 weeks. That's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this person tells you you can't redeem your shit right now, to
Yeah.
which your drunken brain says, "All right, that makes sense to me, boss."
But it's not
So
just.
do
It's
you
not
have
just.
an immediate plan to come back within a certain amount of time to get your money?
It's not just in my drunken brain because I know that other bars do this. Like I've never really questioned it. I'm like, that's just their policy or whatever. I'm like, whatever, right? I've done it before multiple times at other places.
Okay, we don't question the things that are happening with our own cash, but that's fine. You do you.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, I don't know. I didn't.
Maybe the maybe would be the $10 you quote unquote won off of your 50. The fact that they wouldn't immediately give you the 50 you put in and didn't spend
Yeah.
is the sussest thing in the world to me. But okay, so you got the ticket.
The thing is,
You
I don't
had
know. I don't know
no
that they even can track that. I don't like, you know what I mean? Unless they went in there and
Yeah,
like looked up
I
how much money
understand.
was in there and shit.
Yeah, it's very easy to program it so that the program knows how much money you input into the machine. That's not hard. But
Well, yeah, but they're not programming the
maybe
machine. They just bought the
doesn't do that.
machine.
Maybe the machine doesn't do that. I'm fine. We're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole holding it in the first place is ludicrous. But okay. So you get the ticket. You think, okay, fine. I'll come back whenever I come back. And it's like, and I know what you're thinking in your little brain there. You're thinking, it'll be like a free $60. I'll forget about, you know what? It'll be like, hey,
Oh hell no. That's not what I'm
Well,
thinking.
What are you thinking?
No, well, I'm just like, well, I've had a couple drinks. I'm all fine. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, dude, I probably drank too much for Clash. This is gonna be a problem for Clash.
Yeah, and it was a concern among all of us as well.
But I did okay. I did well enough.
Yeah, we'll talk about Clash in a bit. We're
Oh,
getting to the story right now.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, so, so you take the voucher home.
Yep.
Okay, now continue.
Okay, so then a couple days ago, I have a couple stuff on my desk. I have some papers. I have my wallet, my notebook. I have like a little journal notebook, my water bottle. Like I just stuff, receipts. And I was looking, and I couldn't find the voucher. And I did happen to notice that my old grocery receipt was still there, and I thought for sure that I'd thrown the grocery receipt away, but it was still here. And so I was very concerned that I think I had thrown away the voucher on accident.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So then
Your
I
voucher.
contacted Stas.
Yeah. Who and you were irate about this. And were you hoping were you hoping I'd be like, that sucks, dude? I mean, and it does suck. You're out $60.
No,
But
I
at
wasn't
the same
hoping. I wasn't
well,
hoping you'd
you were
say.
what?
I wasn't hoping you'd say that sucks, dude. I was hoping you'd. I was looking for the comfort. I was looking for not a yes man. I just wanted to be right in that, like,
Yeah,
they
you
would
wanted to
have.
be that, and you wanted to be like, you wanted reassurance that the right thing to do was to go to that bar and do a little Karen.
No. I wanted you. Well, I was ready to Karen anyways. I was already.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
already.
you were building up.
I
You were
was
building
already
up some Karen.
because the more I thought about it, right? At first, I'm like, okay, well, they gotta have records in the back. They aren't just handing out money because you have a piece of paper, right? They have.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Well, how that can't be legal, like, right? They can't. You have to have track of how much money's
Yes.
coming and going from your
Yes,
business.
yes. As you're saying this to me in the past conversation, I'm already thinking, this is where you're questioning the legality?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was.
You know? And I'm thinking in my head, no, honey, the time to go Karen was it's not now. It was then. Right?
Well,
You
I
don't
wasn't.
do a level 3 now. You do a level 1 back then. Like, no, babe, give me my money.
Well, I
But okay.
can't do it back.
I know you can't turn back time. We're not
Well,
sharing.
not just that, dude. I mean, I had a couple drinks. I was all happy loopy. I was like going, I
Yeah.
wasn't confronting shit.
Yeah.
You want to get me to agree to something? Put two beers in me. Put 7 beers in me, champ.
7 drinks, okay? You can't say 2.
Well, I'm saying when I got the voucher, I was probably only like halfway through the session. I was probably at like
3 and a
3.
half then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you lost the voucher. You haven't found it yet?
I haven't told you this yet, but I did find it.
You fuck.
Yeah, I found it literally last night. It fell off the back of my desk somehow, and it was just like back by the cords. And I found it. Here's how I found it. I found it because last night I had more internet problems, and my router is like down underneath my PC, and I had to get down there. I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh my god, it's it. I got it.
Okay. So this is how I know there is no God, because there's no justice, because you should have just been out that $60 with this dumbass decision.
What
When
dumbass
is you-
decision?
To take this voucher. When do you plan to go back to the bar and redeem your $60?
Maybe this weekend.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hope maybe not. Okay. So this is going to be a great segue, even though I said we don't do segues, but this is a good one. Okay. So this issue of yours aside, maybe don't do it 2 weeks from now when we have Clash. Because me and Lana and Herc were practicing all day Saturday, right? And we're like, okay, let's get some games in. Let's be ready, right? And how did you prepare for Clash?
I had 3 shots of Goldschlager and 4
Yeah.
pints of beer.
Yes, exactly. That's how you prepared for doing Clash. And if you don't know, Clash is a mini tournament in League of Legends. It's basically an 8-man bracket, and it's single elimination. So,
What did we do? We went win, loss,
well,
win,
it's
right?
mostly single elimination, not quite. It's not true double elimination. Yes, the first night we went 2-1. We ended up 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Which wasn't the worst thing possible. Okay.
Pretty good
Now we're
overall.
going to talk about Clash a little bit, and then the next day we went 1-2. Okay.
Mm.
Now, at the end of this, I'm going to be a little more sympathetic here because I really grilled you hard on this voucher nonsense, which,
It's okay. I got it coming back anyways.
yeah, you got it coming back. So, one of the biggest takeaways from Clash is that the jungle ain't doing the shit the jungle needs to do. All right. And what position do you play?
I play jungle.
Yeah. So how put upon did you feel after those 2 days that basically people were like, what are you doing? You got to be doing better, right?
Oh, dude. Everything in every game is the jungler's fault. And you think that's a fucking like a pub thing? You think that just happens in like solo queue? But it happens on a fucking formal team as well.
Right. Of your friends and family.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't understand. We literally the first night we spent like what, an hour, maybe 2 reviewing, and like 80 or 90% of it was watching me jungle and what I did it or didn't do right.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Of the let's sum total the criticisms you received.
Mm.
What percentage of it do you feel is valid?
I don't know. There is definitely a lot of valids. There's definitely a lot valid to it, but I think that a lot of people have strong opinions about a position that they don't play.
Sure.
I think that a lot of it is people play their lane and they're like, this is obviously what you should have done here. And it's like, number one, everything's obvious in hindsight. Number two, I'm not even sure that that's the right decision, right?
Sure.
There's
perhaps you don't have the language to argue that, and you're like, well, okay, let me just ignore that right now. But okay, go ahead.
Well, no, it's
That's what
just
I'm
like
thinking you're thinking.
well, no, it's not that. It's just that I'm open to the criticism and trying to get better 100%, right? Like clearly I didn't play perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I think that trying to battle every point, I was trying to pick my battles, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'll listen and I will try to digest and improve. But like
Sure.
at the end of it all, I was like, hey, we're really trying to min max my play here. Like, are we gonna reflect on the lane's performances at all here?
Right.
Did everyone play perfectly except me?
When we do review, I wish we would, because we focus on the battles and the fights. I wish we would do a little more lane review. Like, hey, why are you losing like this? Or like,
Yeah.
why are these people's health not, you should be harassing the fuck out of them, or you should be playing safer or whatever. I feel like that would be interesting to do. And we don't do enough of that, maybe because of a time constraint or whatever. But I do feel like
when we allocate 2 hours to jungle critiques,
general lane performance would be better. Okay, so good. One thing I will mention is, you remember our little fight in the bot lane, Rengar, in tower diving?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I will say I don't think that was your fault. All right, especially in hindsight. What should have happened, and I'll take responsibility for this. What should have happened is I should have told Nox I was going in sooner so that he could attack Jin sooner and then get out before the tower pumped his ass, right? That would have been better.
He did as soon as I saw Nox go down, I'm like, this feels like it's unraveling quickly. And we would have gotten the kill for sure, but I wasn't sure that we wouldn't pay more for that one kill. That's what was in my mind.
If I had coordinated it better, it would have been fine. Everybody would have gotten out.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the other thing is
way healthier.
I think the other thing is a lot about, like, we definitely could be better as like the whole team, everyone on the team could be better at communication.
Sure.
About everything. Like I think communication is so big pretty much in all aspects of life, and everyone always thinks that everyone's thinking the same or that this is common sense, and it's like that's such a piss poor way of expecting people around you to know things.
Next clash, which is in 2 weeks, you'd think it would be cool if we could get some practice games in.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Clash talk over.
What you're saying is you request I don't go out those days.
No, I'm not saying hey, your life's your life, okay? But it would be cool if we at least
you can still make requests.
At least have a few games under our belt that we feel confident about before we go do our thing. Now, I know Sunday was a mess.
That's Nox's birthday, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
But going out and having a couple of drinks.
Yeah, 7, not a couple.
I'm just gonna keep doing it now because it's
I know, because it's for the gag. Okay. Talked about Clash. We talked about the journal.
7.
We talked about your voucher story. The best part is that you have the voucher, and do you give him the voucher and he gives you something else?
Yeah, they write it down. So I'll write it down. I'll tell you what it says right here. And here's the thing. This is on a piece of paper. This is just on a piece of paper. That's like, it says, it's like a pre-printed thing with lines, and it says phone call, right? It's for taking messages apparently. And it says, so it has my name, the date, It says RH4, which I'm guessing is the
Machine.
and then it has pound 808, which might be the transaction number.
Yeah, or they
And then
like 808 State.
808 State. What is that? Is that reference?
It's a band.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one. And then it says $60, and then it has like a little. I don't know if that's a signature or like what, but it's just a piece of paper with some writing on it. Like, so clearly they have in the back or somewhere they have a transaction number with that 808 or RH4 or whatever. So I think I talked to another friend who he goes to bars regularly and he gambles regularly at the bars, and he said he thought I'd be fine without it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I just won $60, Stas. Found it right on the floor.
Yeah, we can think of it that way.
Yeah. I wonder what they would say. I'm kind of curious now what they'd say if I was like, no, I want my money now. Like, I wonder if there's any legality to what they're doing, or if you could really push for it and they'd have to do it.
Well, I can't imagine there is, bro. What possible law could there be to not give you your own money?
I don't know. Sounds like they're counting on drunk people losing their paper. I
mean, yes, but at the same time, it's like, why don't you just let them keep the voucher? Why do you keep the voucher on hand? Well, no, that's the thing. Okay, I'm already piecing it together, right? Here's the scam. They lose the dumbass worthless piece of paper, right? And they wait, say, I don't know, 2 months, and then they're like, this idiot didn't come back. Boom, $60.
Yeah, you think the bartender pockets it?
What other reason could it be? You already have the voucher. You already have a basically legal tender. Like, hey, give me my fucking money.
Is it legal tender? I don't know.
No, I know. Basically, I said. I didn't say it is.
Right, but I'm saying, is it like, can they refuse to redeem it if you don't cash it in 6 months? You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Well, according to Miss Merck, a lot of them say you had to be turned in within a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay, and that's why they exchange it and give you the piece of paper.
Yeah, but it's ludicrous to imagine that bar doesn't have $50 on them, $60.
Oh no, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. It's clearly a gimmick to get you to come in and drink again, right? And it works. Right. It really works. I'm gonna go in there with my friend and we're gonna have a couple beers again for sure. I'm not gonna go in and cash it and just walk out.
All right, we got to move on from that gambling story. I can't think about it without laughing.
you still
the only disappointing part of it was you found the voucher. That's really
me getting my money is disappointing.
A little bit, because it's just like, you know.
You wanted me to learn a lesson.
You hope that when people play stupid games, they win stupid prizes. But your prize was $60.
No, my prize was $10.
Your prize was $10,
and actually, I lost 10 before, so my prize is just not losing money on the gambling machine.
You're okay, but the lesson, I'm like, the thing is, I didn't think you would learn a lesson. I know you're not going to learn a lesson. You got gambler brain.
Yeah. Oh hell no. Oh, I'm gonna go gamble again.
So yeah. Great content, though. Maybe go out again and share some dumb stories you pick up.
Oh, for sure. I think I think your mom and me could hang out, you know?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
She goes to big boy gambling.
Yeah. One of her friends was injured. One of her friends is sick. She hasn't been able to go out to the casino, which is basically her pastime.
Yeah.
These days, now that she's retired. I'm going to be frank with you. Maybe I'm going to be Michelle with you. That, it was her hobby before she retired, but anyway, that's where she goes. She goes out to the casino. Yeah, you could go out.
Yeah, I'll scoot on over to Belo and we'll have some Teds and gambling.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to get used to video Keno, and penny slots. So as long as you're okay with that.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a big spender. Penny slots sound just fine to me. I ain't trying to drop like I saw some video where people were like betting like hundreds of dollars per spin. All right, when I'm playing this game and we put in like 20, and if we're betting like over $1, I'm like, dude, or even $1, I'm like, damn, dude, like this is going fast. You get 20 spins.
So how long were you expecting this $50 to last you?
Well, listen, okay, I'm gonna tell you something about this. All right,
sure.
We used to go to this other bar in a different town, and it's where my friend, his girlfriend worked, right? So we'd always go there and visit her, and we became regulars there for like 3 years while she was working there. And they had this one machine. Let me tell you about this machine, okay? They said it was dwarves, but they look kind of like goblins, right? That was like the everything has a theme, and it was like a gold rush thing, right? Like you're mining for gold.
Yeah.
This machine was a god tier machine. No machine will ever be as good as this machine. We could put $20 in it and win $40, $50, $60, $70 back at least 50% of the time, probably closer like 75% of the time. This thing was a cash cow. It was beautiful, Stas. It was so fucking good to us. I don't know if it was just lucky or what, like, but we would win all the time. It was my favorite fucking game. I loved going there with the boys, having a couple of brewskis, pulling some slots down, you know. It was the golden era. And I have not found a machine even remotely as good since then. And then after like 3 years, they got rid of it. Maybe because it was overpaying.
Because it was losing money.
No, I think that, but the thing is, we knew the owner really pretty well. He's a cool guy. I don't think that he was losing money on it. Yeah, I think what they did was
he wouldn't have it in the bar if he was they're not gonna have a gambling machine be a loss leader.
Maybe it got us in there on repeat. The thing is, I think what he was saying was that no one played it, which blew my mind. It was just like my group of friends, I guess, because we'd take that thing to the bank every time.
You love goblins, right?
Yeah.
For normal people, a goblin digging for treasure is like, what is this?
I think it was called dwarves, though. I think it was called like dwarf mining or whatever, something. I think they were supposed to be dwarves, but they looked more gobbly. They looked goblin-y.
Other fantasy stuff. That's right up your alley.
Yeah. It was so good, dude. They had the 3 different games.
Who just wants to play, you know, golf or whatever.
What? Golf?
What is the golf machine in the bars?
Oh, like tee up or something like that.
Golden tee.
Golden tee. That's it.
I should know this. Jim's gonna be upset. He had a golden tee in his basement. Yeah, it's like they just want to play golden tee. They're not trying to play no dwarven mining operation to get a little money in their pocket.
Well, it's just slots. It's just slots. They're all the same.
I know.
They fucking spin it and they tell you if you won.
People get really particular about.
Well, yeah, you start identifying with one.
Slots, right?
You find your.
I mean, you ask Michelle, and she'll tell you. Oh,
she knows the good ones. Yeah,
I like that machine. She's got her favorites here, and when she goes to visit my sister in Vegas, she's got her favorites there.
Does she have the favorite like theme, like the favorite brand ones, or like she has a specific one she sits at?
No, her favorite, like a specific type of machine.
Yeah, the type of machine, not the specific. She sits on the second one on the right every time.
Well, oh no, I meant like, well, that too. She gets her specific machine, but she has like, I like the crystal fields or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah. God, that machine was so good. It was a fucking ATM, bro.
Yeah, did you plan on it? Like, I'm down a little bit. I'll just go hit up the goblin.
No, it was like kind of, but it wasn't like we were down. It was just like, hey, you want to go make some money? Let's go get drunk. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Just put a little bit in the goblin there. We'll get enough for the whole night.
It was a payout every time. It's absurd. Good times.
Okay. Good talk.
Yeah. I think that was all the stuff we had planned to talk about, right?
Yeah. You make it sound like we're ending the show.
No. Now I can dig in, dude.
Oh, okay. Now you got stuff.
Okay. I want to talk to you. I'm not even going to say it. We're just going to look at this.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go ahead and open this up. What do we think about this piece of art?
Okay. Overall?
Yeah, just I don't know, just knee-jerk opinions.
One, I like the stylistic choices. Okay. I think obviously the male model is definitely modeled off Pedro Pascal.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
You can see there's obvious differences, but those feel like purposeful. You know, that
Right.
feels like, okay, I'm gonna get into this style.
Yep.
Okay. The girl does not look like Bella Ramsey. Okay.
Mm,
And this should not be a knock on Bella Ramsey at all. It just does not look like it. It looks like, and I don't, knee jerk reaction is I don't believe the artist was doing it on purpose. I believe that they think this was it was like their stylistic choice. Okay.
sure.
Bella Ramsey has an interesting face. You know what I see? You know what I'm saying? It's not
It's very
it,
yeah.
it wouldn't have it I don't know if it would have fit within this style. It would have looked strange.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they were going for. However, if you go posting this and being like, "Hey, here's my rendition of of Pedro Pascal and the cute version of Bella Ramsey," it's like,
So
wait
did you
a
see this?
second
Do
here.
you know what this is about? Do you
No, I don't know what this is about, but that would be my initial reaction. I don't know. This is the first time I'm seeing this.
Okay, yeah. This is
So my initial reaction was, I know what Bella Ramsey like. She's a cute girl. She's a cute little girl. But we know, right? She doesn't look like this. She doesn't look like an anime character.
sure.
You know what I mean? So I would imagine there would be some furor over that.
There was. There was a lot. And to the point where the artist took it down. Now, I guess what happened was when Bella got casted. That's her. Wait, is that her? Is that her real name? Is Bella?
I'm pretty sure it's Bella. Yes.
Yeah. So when she got casted, I guess there was some people were like, "Oh, she's not pretty enough for this role," or blah 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 blah. Right? So she got kind of bullied or whatever. And so when he posted this, a bunch of
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you before you get into this,
Yeah.
which is already a terrible take. The first model was essentially a lawsuit worthy, a replica of Ellen Page. Okay, now of Elliot Page. Sorry.
well
Uh,
back when she was Ellen though,
yes,
right?
it was
Yeah, because it was
pre-transition. Correct.
yeah,
Right. However, I would not describe Elliot Page as she's pretty, but I wouldn't describe her as some raving beauty, right? Like,
sure,
so
yeah,
right off the bat, one, to make that comparison is already wrong because listen, for one, we're talking about a girl here. She's not even an adult. She's a little girl. We don't make comments like that we shouldn't be making comments like that in modern society because it is dead wrong.
Wait, which
Okay?
comment that she's not?
We shouldn't be remarking about the beauty of any particular girl or boy. Okay, not from a sexual standpoint, but simply as a matter of respect. Right? Why would you ever try to make a child feel bad about how they look? Right?
You're saying the
By
people who are
going
saying like she
online,
wasn't cute enough. Those are people are
yes,
scumbags.
anyone who would say she wasn't cute enough for the role should immediately punch themselves in the fucking face because they're a moron. Okay, it's ridiculous. But okay. Now we can continue. Well, let's continue.
I agree. Those people are fucking weird, right? It's just even if you think it, right? Even if you think like, oh, she doesn't look like the character, or she doesn't. I don't think she's cute, or whatever. Like, if you think it, whatever. We're not gonna thought police, but like to go out and like post on Twitter and be like, the fuck this girl, she's not ugly, right? That's weird to me.
Yes,
But
that is very weird.
But okay, so Sam, I don't you've probably seen his stuff before. Sam is the one who did this, and he got a bunch of flack for it, so he ended up taking it down, right?
Okay.
And he reposted it, and the new picture I like better, right? But I think in general, I think he just spent more time on it. I think it's just it's just overall better. Like it's a
Okay,
better piece of
sure.
work. Let me,
We see it. Let's take a look.
yeah, I'm gonna, I screenshotted it, so hold on, open link, right?
One of the issues I would have with the original is that the first one is that Pedro looks like Pedro. Do you understand? But Bella does not look like Bella.
I get what
That's
you're
one
saying,
of the issues.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that almost feels purposeful. Like, I don't want to do Bella here, and it's like, I don't that's a strange choice, but okay, here we go.
Second one, this one, they both look more like they're
Yes.
actors and
This one
actresses.
I can definitely see. It's definitely modeled after Bella Ramsey's
Yeah.
face.
And I think it's a great picture. I think it's a better picture, hands down, right?
Well, yeah, there's more action in it. The poses are more
Well, no,
dynamic.
yeah, and the lighting is better. It's just a better. And I feel like there's more care put into it in general.
Yeah, the
But
first one's almost giving American Gothic. There's a little
yeah, it's a
okay.
little full on. But my problem is, I don't think I hate when if he decided to make a stylistic choice to slap a Disney face on her. That's his fucking choice. It's his art. I fucking hate this shit. I hate this shit when people start critiquing art. It's their fucking interpretation, however they fucking want to do it.
Nah, I gotta push back on you a little bit there.
Let me hear it.
It's entirely people's right to fucking critique art, especially if you're posting it publicly. Like, if you want to post your art and expect no one to say anything about it, then what are you doing?
To insinuate that he's doing something nefarious because he's drawing girls how he draws literally all of his girls.
Okay, well, one, that would be already an issue, right? He would have a very bad case of same face, right? If that's literally what he's been doing.
He does
Two,
have that.
Okay.
Everyone knows
that's
it. Everyone acknowledges it. He acknowledges it.
Okay, fine. Two, we've seen he can do other things just by evidence of the second picture.
Yes, he is, but he doesn't mean he has to. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean he's doing something nefarious by not doing that.
The thing is I'm not saying he's doing something. I don't think he's doing something nefarious. However, if I'm Bella Ramsey and I look at this rendition, I'm like, I don't look like that.
That's fine. She doesn't have to look like that.
Yeah, but we're getting into beauty standards. We're getting into a beauty standards thing.
That's the artist. The artist can get to do that. They're the artist. They get to choose what they think looks like.
But very often they choose to make things prettier, quote unquote, than they are in real life.
That's what artists do. A lot of artists, their goal is to take something from real life and make it prettier.
But it's very easy to then see how someone could make the jump to, I think, what's their character's name? And I think Ellie should look like this. Do you understand? Especially given the history of it. I'm not saying that's what he was doing. What I'm saying is that it could easily be construed like that.
Just because it easily can be construed doesn't mean that like that's an okay thing to think that it was like it's okay to construe it. Like just
it's like, well, it's the thing. It's like, do you want people to give all artists the benefit of the doubt here?
Yes. What? Anytime we look at art, we should assume that it's the worst case scenario. Listen, when I draw people, I definitely try to quote unquote make them look better.
Yeah, I mean, my avatar is definitely better looking than me. That's true.
Sure, yeah, okay. And that's just an interpretation of how you look in my style and accenting features that I think show you or look good or whatever it is, right?
Yes, I understand.
It's not supposed to be reality.
I'm also, I don't know, man. I feel like the fact that she's a kid is a factor here. One, that's a factor. Two,
wait, what do you mean she's a kid? The character?
That she's a child, the actress.
Well, the actress isn't a child. She's like 20.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. She looks like she's 12.
Well, yeah, but that's why she's playing the 14-year-old.
Well, anyway.
I think she's 19 or 20. I could be wrong on that.
Okay. Okay, well, that tempers it a little bit. However, again, I'm looking at this first one and I'm thinking, okay, Pedro looks like Pedro, but stylized. And but Ellie does not look like Ellie, but stylized.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the guy looks more like the actor, and the girl looks like kind of a generic girl.
So what I would say is, like, right off the bat, this guy just didn't put that much effort into what Ellie looked like.
Yeah, okay.
I mean?
So number one, let me say this: this guy almost exclusively does girls, right? He just recently started branching into dudes. He doesn't have a specific style down.
You could have fooled me because it looks like he's comfortable with dudes and not with girls.
Whatever the case is, that's just it, right? So, it's just so strange to me that people think that they should tell artists how to style it or whatever. I think that and also to like kind of say like, oh, you didn't put enough effort into this. It's like, dude, he's doing a fucking fan piece. This isn't supposed to be political commentary on how a girl looks or anything like that. He's just like, I like the show, I did a fan art.
Great point, because who gets to decide whether a piece is political or not? In fact, I'm not sure the artist has sole control whether a piece becomes political based solely on their intentions.
That's
Right?
true.
Once
And
you
there is
put
that.
it out into the public sphere, it's going to get interpreted how it's going to get interpreted.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But it's crazy that if I whipped up a piece of art and I was like, well, I want to do fan art because I like the show, but I'm just gonna draw the girl like this because I don't want to spend 6 hours on it. I just like the show and I just want to do it, right? And this is how I'm comfortable doing girls, so it's like a little easier. And I'm like, oh, this guy I struggle with, so I spent more time on it, but it does look more like him because I don't have like a little formula down for dudes, right, or whatever. And then I put it out, and then people are like, you fucking asshole, dude, how dare you? You're just fucking trying to say Bella's not cute enough for the. It's like, no, fuck you, man. I'm just doing fan art here. That's all. That's all this is. This is clearly fan art. And
I mean,
and let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
You got my initial reactions, right? And I immediately knew what the problem was without any background knowledge whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. That's because you live in this realm. But let me ask you this. How far off the video game character does this portrayal of Ellie look?
I don't think that looks like Elliot Page.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the video game.
Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, the video game character is so close.
Let's look it up.
Look it up.
Ellie from The Last of Us game.
Not 2, 1.
Yeah, Last of Us right here. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, do we need a side by side? Is that fucking crazy? Ooh, wrong one. Wait, what the hell did I do?
Okay, again, no, right? It seems to be like, oh, is this a case where, oh, I picked Joel from the show, but Ellie from the video game?
Right, but this is the problem with this is the people that are taking this critique, and that's fine. I understand how you got there, but that doesn't mean that's actually what happened, right? It doesn't mean that that's the intention. Like,
I know, but it doesn't mean it's not the intention either. You don't have a window inside this guy's brain.
No, but why would you assume the worst? Why is that the life? Why is that the world you want to live in, where it's like, this guy's fucking, he did something bad towards Bella. Fuck this guy.
Well, it's like going to a bar, right? Getting a voucher for winning $10 off of 50 and assuming this is just a cool system they use to get you back at the bar and I'll get my money back at a later date. Versus going to a bar, spending $50 to gain 10, trying to get told that that you're not going to get your money immediately, and immediately thinking this is a scam. Do you understand?
I don't understand how that relates to this.
It's thinking the best versus thinking the worst.
Yes, and I will always choose to think of the best in people. I don't want to live in a world where I'm assuming everyone's a fucking villain or has some nefarious plot or everything is evil and everything's terrible.
However, yes,
how fucking depressing.
I'm okay with that stance, right?
Yeah.
However, this artist doesn't need to have had nefarious intent to have committed some sort of faux pas, right?
What is a faux pas exactly?
Some sort of error, right? Some sort of.
Okay. Do you think he committed an error?
I think it could have been constructed better. Yeah.
So I want to yes or no. Did he commit an error?
Let's see. I mean, it's a tough one.
It is tough.
I honestly believe I can't imagine he didn't have any idea of what he like. He couldn't have stepped back. Maybe he couldn't step away from it and just have a general idea how people might react when one character looks like the actor, but the other one does not look at all like the actress. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I think it's completely possible. I think that's completely realistic. That he's not worried about how this is reflecting the actor and actress. I think he's like, I'm gonna do this fucking piece because I like the show, I like the game, and the girl comes naturally because this is how he does all of his girls. And the guy, he's like, well, I have to look at the reference more because I don't do guys a lot.
Okay.
And that's why one turned out.
Again, you're taking it from the perspective of an artist, which is good, but I think a lot of people that are going to be having knee-jerk reactions. They don't understand that process. They don't see. Oh,
I
okay,
agree.
This guy has girls in a very specific style. That's what his girls are going to look like, or his women, or whatever we want to call them. And it's a girl in this particular character, right? But they're not going to be thinking like, oh, these are extra stylized, and Joel is not because he's not comfortable with men, right? They're going to be thinking, oh, like my reaction, oh, he really took the time to make Joel look like Joel and Ellie to be a Disney princess.
I 100% agree that these people aren't going to have the insight to see this, right? Because if they just happen to stumble upon this picture, that doesn't mean they're right. And it doesn't mean that their outrage is right.
But I don't think
it doesn't mean their outrage is right.
I don't think they're wrong to ask questions about it either.
Yes, but asking questions is different from saying you're a shitty person for doing this. Bella got bullied. Take it down. That's just a different form of bullying, and it's weird. Instead of being like, hey, why did you do it this way? Hey, what's going on here?
I mean, yes.
There was no pursuit. There was no pursuit of insight or.
I agree. However, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Do you understand?
Oh, 100%. I know.
A lot of people who ask questions, a lot of people who try to be like civil or like inquisitive or whatever, they get completely ignored. You know?
I agree, and I think
I'm not trying to talk to people. I just want to post the art. So people who have questions, they're like, okay, cool. But people who are like, you're a fucking monster. It's like, oh shit, what's happening?
Yeah. The thing is, I think that it extrapolates to like all of life, right? And that it kind of becomes a problem of like society in that only the loud, almost the people I would say are usually problematic don't represent the majority, and it's not necessarily the best way that we should be going about things.
What a great actress Bella Ramsey is for making me believe she was actually 14 years old. Let me just say that right away. But okay, I'm tangented.
Wait, hold on. How is that deal with her as an actress versus like the makeup / just her physical appearance?
Well, it's everything. But you know what?
Did you watch all of it?
No.
Oh, I did. It's a good show. And I will say this, I'm not trying to like pile on here about Bella Ramsey, but when I first saw her, I'm like, she looks odd.
Yeah, she has a non-standard Hollywood face.
Yeah,
and you know
what?
It
stood out.
Great. More power to her.
That's fine. 100%. Great.
Okay, so the thing is, we want to celebrate that. Okay, and this piece doesn't celebrate that. And you know what? That's artists. They're people are absolutely 100% free to draw whatever they want to draw. Okay. However, when you put it into a forum when you put it into a public forum like Twitter or Instagram or wherever this was posted, where everyone in the world is free to say anything they want about it, you're going to get the loudest voices congregating together, being angry about it in some way. Right?
I agree, but it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make it right. Okay. However, as with many things, the trolls are being trolls, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a valid conversation to be had about this particular picture.
100% there's a valid conversation to be had. It's the dogpiling. This is dogpiling. This is why it's tilting me. It's dogpiling. Be like, you piece of shit. I know about you. You're a horrible person. Take it down. Fuck you. Fuck your art. This is still like, this is a nice piece. This is a nice piece of art. This is good.
I agree. It is good.
I will say this one's better though. I like this one way more.
Well, yes, it
and
is way better.
it is better representative of her.
It
And
almost looks like a cell shaded photo,
this
the
does
way it is set up.
this
Yeah.
one, yeah. This one's beautiful, but this one's still good. I still cool. I like it. I just hate the dogpiling and like weird bullying shit that happens.
I agree, but not I don't want to say but you got to deal with it cuz it's the internet, but
But you
that's
should expect it.
no, one, yes, but two, that's the internet we have right now, and it sucks. I
Yeah.
agree. We cannot have civil discussions about anything. It's like one of the worst things about Twitter is dogpiling, not just because of what it makes those posters feel, but because it eliminates the ability to have discussion.
Yeah.
So if someone like this goes back to like remember like Anita Sarkeesian, and those videos years ago. You remember
No,
that?
who is that? I don't know who that is.
Feminist, what was the name of those videos? Feminist Frequency or something along those lines.
Oh, I don't know
Anyway,
anything about that.
she did videos critiquing video games from a feminist point of view, and she
Okay.
got a lot of hate, right? But the thing is, well, she was just an example. Okay, but let's say someone on Twitter says some shit you disagree with,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're like, okay, I don't know,
That's every day.
you sit with it. Yeah, I know. You sit with it for a while, and you're like, you know what? I really want to know what this person is thinking about this, or like, oh, okay, so this is why they're wrong. I've thought about this for a while, and then you're like, okay, you come up with a counter argument or a
Yeah.
flaw in their logic or whatever, and you're like, okay, you post it. Well, who gives a shit, right? No one's thinking about it because all these sorts of trolls are sending death threats or saying you're the worst person in the history of people,
Yeah.
and you can't have a reasonable discussion about anybody because any critique then puts you in the troll camp, right? You can't disagree with somebody, but then also not be associated with the worst element of the disagreeers.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes. The
saying?
bad apple ruins the bunch.
So it's like I don't, it's like, hey, I have some issue. There are obviously I've got immediate issues with this photo. I have immediate questions, right?
Yeah.
Like again, without any background, like I don't know this person's art, right? Maybe if I had seen 10 other pieces by this artist, I'd be like, okay, well, that's the way they do women, right? So or girls or whatever. That's kind of what they're going for here.
Well, let me ask you this: if
Personally, my critique would then be my guy, switch it up.
yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this: if you just saw this, right, and you did like come to the conclusion yourself of what the issue was, but if you just saw this by itself, would you feel so offended or whatever the word is, offended by it that you'd be like, I need to let this guy know that there's a problem here?
I don't feel that strongly about art, so no.
Yeah, but for these people, it isn't about the art. It's what this is representing, which is like whatever beauty standards and shit.
I don't actively comment. I can't even imagine the times I've actively commented on anybody's shit.
I guess that's fair
it.
enough.
I think I've done it twice, maybe on a TikTok. I've
done
it on a TikTok for sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I need to know what TikTok that was.
Okay. Do you know Hank Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does science videos or whatever.
Yeah, or just like general information and knowledge.
And yes, okay. So during Halloween, he was doing some spooky vids or whatever, but they were science based.
Yeah.
Right. And he had a spooky vid about the atomic bomb and how some people who were working on the bomb got radiation poisoning and got sick or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, and you know what? I had to comment because there is no mention of the hundreds of thousands of people who quote unquote got sick about because of the bomb got dropped on them.
Wait, I don't
Like,
understand.
the spooky part is that people working on it got sick and died, but not the people that the bomb got dropped on. And I'm like, you can't edit out an atrocity for a spooky Halloween story. This is dog shit.
Wait, I don't understand. What's spooky about? So people that were working on a nuclear bomb,
I don't know.
got
I can't
contaminated by it?
Content of the video, but yes, it was basically like people working on it got sick or something.
But isn't that? Did they get sick like not radiation sick? Like they just all happen to get like some sort of?
I don't know what it was.
Like heart attacks and shit like that.
Because it was a while ago. It was Halloween.
Because the thing is, if they all got radiation, it's like there's no spooky like supernatural thing happening. You were working with fucking radiation.
Well, it's scary. It's scary in the fact that you can die from this. I don't know, man.
It doesn't make
I don't
sense to
know.
me.
I'm just saying it was about the atomic bombs without mentioning the actual effect of dropping them.
I don't under I don't
It was about a very small number of Americans or at least Western scientists losing their lives as opposed to I don't know how many Japanese died from it. It might be in the millions, right? It was
it's gotta
basically
be,
on 2
right?
cities. It was on 2 cities.
Yeah, 2 major
So,
cities.
it's like it hit me so badly
You
that
just it
he would just gloss over the entire point of these weapons to talk about a few people dying in the
well,
creation of it.
the thing is, I could understand it if like what he was saying was like the spooky element is that like these people died mysteriously working on this or whatever, right? Because there's
Yeah.
so spooky has to have some sort of like mystery to it, somehow some like unknown where it's like I don't right. And but if they just people died from radiation while working on nuclear weapons, duh.
He didn't respond to that one.
No, no, you didn't get a response.
No, I didn't get a response out of that one. I have gotten responses. I've only had like 5 TikTok comments, but I've had other responses. That wasn't one of them. The other ones were positive. They weren't critiquing.
That's
But
hilarious.
anyway.
It's funny that
anyway.
Hank Green is it?
Yes.
That's the one that you go in on. Do you not like him or
No, he's fine.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? He's fine. It's just that it just seemed like a glaring error, you know?
it seemed
just
a little
seemed like
callous?
Yeah, it was very callous to me. That's why it hit me wrong. All right.
That's crazy, man. That's the one. Okay.
But now I'm off TikTok and I don't get to see Hank Green anymore or
He's on Twitter, Instagram.
boobs. I don't follow. I
Did you
don't
say
get-
or boobs?
Yeah.
Stas, those are kids.
I know you can find him elsewhere. It was a joke.
Um yeah, I hate dogpiling. Moral of the story, I hate dogpiling. I hate let artists do their fucking stylizations, man.
I mean, I agree. We've had this conversation before. You know what? I absolutely, they should be free to interpret the things how they want to interpret, right? But again, also we want to have a forum for for criticism or questions or
Yeah.
just effects, right?
Yeah,
If
I'm probably more
someone doesn't
heated.
like your art, you need to be okay with it. You just but we can't as human beings deal with 900,000 people not liking your art
Yeah.
or 900,000 people looking at your art and deciding not to like you, you know?
If it were me, I would have left it up and then also done the other version.
Okay,
That's what I
you're
would've
not
done.
drawing that.
Oh no.
How's your drawing going?
But here's the I haven't done anything because I've been working
Yeah.
on a different project. Here's the other thing is you can tell he put in so much less time in the first one. I'm not gonna open it up again because I already closed it. But like the line work and everything is like much more sloppy and whatever, whereas that second one is just gorgeous. Mwah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, fine.
And I guess moral of the story, the criticism caused him to forced him to go outside his boundary, like his comfort zone and whatever. I don't know. Does bullying work? You know, is that kind of what happened? Bullying worked, and it made him a better
works
person
only
for
in-
it.
It works only in the sense that, I mean, I mean, I don't think so.
You don't think bullying works?
No, I don't think bullying. Bullying doesn't have an objective, right? So I don't know if that. I mean, it would be dogpiling. I don't know if it's bullying, right? I'm
Isn't
not sure
dogpiling bullying?
rises to an. I feel like an essential feature of bullying is that there's no point other than cruelty. You know?
Really? I guess I never thought about it that way.
Right? Like, what is the point of it otherwise? To get people to do what you want them to do? And I don't know.
Yeah, no, it kind of makes sense. I guess that makes sense. But isn't that dogpiling too? Isn't that just getting people to do what you want them to do as a mob?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Dogpiling has an objective, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to spend more time.
Oh, I
really
see what you're
thinking
saying.
about
You're
it.
saying dogpiling does have an objective.
Yeah,
bullying
the
is just
objective was
a
to get
power
them to
play.
take it down, I guess, and
Yeah.
in that sense, it worked. But it's like, what does that work? What does working mean? Right? That we can't have frank discussions about art.
God, we love Frank here.
Yeah, I mean, I it can't not be a pun with me, and that's the problem. I can't
Yeah.
just use
Well,
frank as a word.
Some people just want to post art scot free, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was bad. Yes, I could see where the problem lied immediately.
Yeah.
Damn. But again, this could spark so many interesting discussions if people had brains, okay? And I'm gonna pull a John Stossel here, right? And it's like because John Stossel famously, I think when he was on Fox News, was like, I don't think dumb people should be able to vote, you know?
John Stossel said that?
Yeah, he used to basically John Stossel's career was he was like a consumer. He started off as a consumer advocate, right? And
Okay.
then he became like a real right wing, like just stick in the mud, and that's how he ended up on Fox News. He's just
How
turned
wait,
into a hack.
that's hilarious. Wait, I guess I never realized he was a right wing like whatever. I didn't realize he
Well,
was
you
like
don't unless you're Combs, you don't really get on Fox News if you're a liberal. You know what I mean?
yeah. But it's I didn't even know he's on Fox News. I mean, that's kind of before I
He
started paying
was.
attention
I
to that
don't know
shit.
what he's doing now.
That's
You know what? And
it's
the fact it was a, I like the name Stas and Stossel as a handle,
yeah.
but I don't anymore like it's associated with John Stossel.
I think it's hilarious. It's so ironic. It's so good, dude.
It was so yeah, because well, one of the things that would happen early on in our gaming career, right, was
Yeah.
that people were like, "Oh, John Stossel, you into him?" I was like, "No, bro, this was a joke name. I don't like John
You were
Stossel."
trolling before people knew
Yeah,
trolling,
I
huh?
was trolling before, but then I just get associated with it, and people just
Oh
assume I
yeah, you
like
gotta be
John Stossel.
careful. Little friendly
But we
fire.
dropped the John, and then it just became a name, and then at some point the
Just
EL
Stas,
fell
yeah.
off, and it just was Stas.
Stas boss.
But yes, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
John Stossel. Oh yeah, that he believes that people like dumb people shouldn't be allowed to vote, right?
Oh yeah,
That there
yeah.
should be some other requirement. And to an extent, I really feel like you should have some kind of a brain to be able to post shit on the internet. All right?
The pro
Not like an intelligence criteria, but at least a 12 in wisdom. You know what I mean?
But how are you gonna regulate that? Like, what, you gotta take a
I
test?
know there is no way to regulate that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying
You're just talking
that's
about
what
ideal
is going to
world.
happen. Yeah, I'm saying people should know, you know. I feel like there needs to be education, like literal K to 5 education on how to behave online,
Bro,
netiquette.
bro,
And yes, okay, go ahead.
we can't even have proper education for K through 5 of like how to interact in person
Yeah, I know.
or like dude, the fact that like taxes isn't something you're taught in high school blows my mind. Like how to do your taxes and shit like that. Like that just seems like
Yes.
it's something
Those are
literally
basic life skills. You would
yeah.
imagine a school would prepare you for basic life skills, and you'd be wrong. Okay. Because I don't know how, I haven't been a teacher for a number of years. Okay. However, the lessons I saw on what netiquette is, right? And netiquette is even that's like a web 1.0 term that already, it's just out of date. You know what I mean?
I never
Like
even heard
basically,
that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's basically how you should behave online,
Yeah.
right? But the lessons that they've taught that I've seen, which are very few and far between, are just bad. You know what I mean? They're like it's
Just
basically just
not
don't talk to strangers. You know what I mean? It's not
well, those are
like
good ones to have.
yeah, I know,
Except
but they
everyone
also
online is a
need
stranger.
yeah, they also need to be like, hey, relax.
Oh,
You
speaking
know,
of,
something gets your goat up. You know, wait a few hours, wait a day, then post your thoughts. You know, like
I think
you know,
I think
I
that
don't
goes
know.
outside of the internet. I think that's just in general. Like, hey, if something gets you fucking riled up and flustered, spend a little
That's
time.
anger management, general anger management classes may
Is
be
is
good
that
for the
general? I don't
world.
even know if that's anger management, but that's just
Yeah,
always
it
been me.
is.
It's like spend some
Anger
time with
management
yourself.
is calm down, relax. Don't let an immediate knee jerk reaction control your actions.
Yeah,
Right?
act, don't react.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, um, that would be good, but we also need to like instruct people of how to. I don't know to realize because I don't think people are thinking they don't they realize on paper, but they don't realize that everybody on the internet is a person on the other end. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like these are people. So if you're going to talk to somebody, talk to them like you would a person, right? But we still seem to be in the era
It's
we've
just
never sort of graduated from the base 7th or 8th grade level maturity level um that when you're on the internet, you can be an asshole and no one knows about it.
We never
Right?
graduated from COD lobbies, baby.
Yeah. It basically, I mean, I've been in Valorant games with 12-year-olds, and it's just like,
Screaming the N word or something
yeah, or
absurd.
whatever. They're just doing dumb shit. And it's like, okay, this is
It's
it.
just like a weird lashing out, or like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I believe the children are our future. Teach
I
them well
I agree.
and let them lead the way.
Well, I mean, I do believe they're our future, but
That's Whitney Houston, all right?
good for her.
Well,
She's
nothing's
still
good for her
alive?
anymore. No.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I don't
She
know.
died from a drug overdose a few years ago and then followed a few months later by her daughter.
Who's your daughter?
Something Brown. I don't know what her name was.
Vanessa Brown?
And maybe.
I just made that up.
Okay. Anyway, it was a tragic tale because she, was this great singer, and then she just became coked out.
Sad. The thing
Yeah.
is, I think the thing is, at least my impression is that a lot of successful people do cocaine, right?
Okay.
I mean, right? Do you agree, do you think that's true, or is that your impression as well? I should say.
I would imagine. My impression is there's drugs all around, are plentiful in celebrity circles.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe I should say this: people who do cocaine. No, yeah.
Oh yeah, her name was fucking Bobby. Ah,
Bobby, I was close, dude. Bobby Brown.
There's something very weird about naming your daughter after the man. I don't know.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not into
Okay.
that?
She died 3 years later. Also, a
They both
tragedy.
died of overdose.
Don't know
or
what she
differently?
died. Maybe. I think
Oh.
so.
2012, she died. Damn.
Yeah.
It feels,
Is
it's
she
so
still
long ago.
alive?
I
Yeah,
don't
11
know,
years,
man. What do you think? I got tabs on all the
bro.
celebs.
You had diapers on 11 years ago.
You did?
You did. Neither of us did. Why would that be your response?
I don't know. I thought you went through a phase.
What face?
Pneumonia? How old was she? She died from pneumonia. There had to have been other
I
factors.
don't know. She was a young adult. She was also not. I think she also had substance abuse problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say there has to be other factors there. 22? That's so fucking heartbreaking. That's too young, man.
Yeah. I mean, you've already lived 13 years past that. 14.
14.
13. Are you 35?
36, baby.
Yeah, it's 14.
But I'm still mid 30s.
Yeah, you're still mid 30s. This is it.
This
One
is
more
it,
year of it,
dude.
but yeah.
This is it. It's the last of it. I
Yeah,
make
and
it.
then you get to go
It's
to
The
your
Last of
late
Us.
30s. Yep. You're already
I'm middle aged. Or close to it.
okay. Well, I don't know how a 22-year-old who has money dies of pneumonia.
Well, yeah, 22. But didn't also Bernie Mac die? He was much older, but
this day and age.
I don't understand. I thought pneumonia was like incredibly treatable.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Okay. We talked about Joel and Bella. Pedro and Bella. Joel and Ellie. What else you got? I know that ain't the only thing that ain't
I got something. Okay, this is
Okay.
gonna go a little into politics here.
Fine.
Sort of, I guess. Do you know who Jeffrey Marsh is?
Jeffrey Marsh.
This
sounds
guy
familiar.
keeps coming up on my timeline, and apparently it's this guy who has this Patreon, and he has these. I didn't dig into it, but just these very kind of off-putting videos where it seems like he is doing manipulative things with younger people, and
Okay.
it's just coming off really poorly to me. And maybe there's some insight here that you can give me. Let me pull up one of the videos. We'll just so
Sure.
you have an example.
We'll watch Jeffrey. This is Jeffrey Marsh, ladies and gentlemen, not to be confused with Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Who that? As soon as you said Jeffrey Marsh, I think that's who I thought of. But wrong.
Where can I find his shit?
Well, who knows?
Just give me 1 second here. You never, but Jeffrey's one of those names where there's like 30 different ways to spell it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
One
there
F,
is,
two
yes.
F's, G or J. Is there O in there? Is there
Yeah.
3 E's?
Is it more like a Joffrey or is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Also, Jeff Geoff is like my impression is yuppie and pretentious, but Jeff Jeff is blue collar as fuck, almost redneck. You know, those are my impressions of those names.
Wait, what is it? Say it again.
Jeffrey with Geo, the Geo spelling
Yeah.
is to me uppity and like pretentious a little bit.
Sure,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like I'm thinking upper class, but Jeff is blue collar and or possibly a redneck. I did mention Jeffree Star.
Yeah,
But
Jeffree Star.
not
We're
the
talking
person
about
we're talking about.
Jeffrey
We're talking about
Marsh.
Jeffrey Marsh.
God, I don't. I wish I should have saved one of these. The one I did save was kind of the response that happened.
Smirk, that's what happened. Okay, so there's a controversy. We don't know anything about it now because we don't have a video.
I'm dog shit, dude. I'm sorry. Give me.
It's all right.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Really put the time in on that.
Who is Jeffrey Marsh? We're gonna find out.
Apparently, Chloe, he makes weird, icky vibe videos. We don't know anything. We're trying to learn. And this is a learning channel. I don't know if you guys know about that, but we do a lot of teaching here. Mostly me teaching says, but
Okay, you're not gonna like this because this is Matt Walsh posting this. But
oh Christ,
it's the one I could find. Okay, the video is still here.
fine.
You're not gonna see anything from Matt Walsh. Isn't gonna be in it. I don't think.
If God, I
Display.
should unfriend you for following Matt Walsh in the first place.
I don't
but
follow
fine.
him. I don't follow him. See this? I don't
Yeah,
follow him.
You follow his every move.
All right, let me get this a little bigger here. See this?
You are attempting to figure out if you want to go no contact.
Oh,
Let
I gotta
me
turn
give
the.
you
Okay, hold
a
on.
tip.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me send you the
Go
video. Is that better?
Yeah, send me the video so I can also watch it.
Yeah. Okay. I've completely forgot about that. Copy
Yeah.
link to tweet. And over to you, Papa Stas. I'll restart it. You let me know when you want to press it.
All right, go ahead.
If you are attempting to figure out if you want to go no contact, let me give you a tip. Go no contact first before you figured it out. If you tell your mother, for example, you're going to go no contact and she makes it all about her, she says, "What the fuck does that mean?" She steamrolls over your experience or your emotions. She makes it all about her. She tries to manipulate you with guilt. That is really valuable information about how to proceed. If you go no contact and she says, "I love you very much. I respect your decision. Please take as much space as you need. I'll be working on myself and I'm ready if you ever want to have contact again." That's helpful information too. Give it a shot.
What? That's it? That's not the one I'm talking about. That's not even the one I wanted to know or wanted to show. There's other ones where he's saying stuff like, the one that bothered me was like he's talking to these young people and saying like, you can come in my DMs and we can talk privately where we can talk about things that we can't talk about in the comments. And it's just like kind of strange. Like,
Is this video for children?
I don't, for young people, I don't know if it's children, but for young people.
Okay. Well, for one, it gives the ick. One, because you can't, this is a test, you know? Like, you don't test your relationships like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is akin to like a boyfriend or girlfriend testing, quote unquote, their partner, you know, and by having a friend or someone try to hit on them and see how
Yeah.
they react or whatever.
Yeah,
It's that. This is what that is, but for your parents. say you're going to do something drastic and see how they react to it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
I don't know.
that wasn't even
Okay.
the example. Like I said, that's not the example. For me, it was like where he's literally talking about getting these young and like obviously it feels like it's targeting people who are vulnerable and trying to get him to come into his DMs and have conversations that you can't have in public. And it's like,
Sure.
and it is talking to youthful people who are at least somewhat dependent on their parents, right?
Yeah.
If
I
you're
mean,
saying like
look
get away
at
from
the
your
way he's dressing. This man gives guru. This man gives new age head of a cult guru, right?
That's what it is.
Like,
It gives like this culty vibe thing.
and he's cultivating a certain segment of people, right? Maybe it seems like LGBT people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna just grab this segment of the population that doesn't have a good relationship with their parents, has kind of complications with coming out or
Yeah.
expressing their sexuality or orientation or whatever, and they're in easy. They're like a mark, right?
Right. It
But I
feels
feel like
predatory
that.
in some way.
Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of Jeffrey Marshes out there. I feel like there's just a ton of these people that are like they just they have this charisma and they come across as just having answers to everything, right?
Right.
And
Well,
one, I cannot stand anybody who pretends to be like to have this level of
to have
wisdom.
the answers.
Right. It's like, bitch, you don't have answers to shit. You don't know nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Just scream snake oil to you.
Yeah, it does.
So then so I saw a couple of those. I'm like, that guy's creepy, whatever. And then there's another video popped up where I think it's this like Muslim lady who is critiquing it, right? And it got a lot of traction. And she's basically saying like, you are doing things that are literally textbook definition of grooming, right? And she went through it and like, here's the definition, and this is what he says here and here and here, and this is that. And it's like, yeah, this is creepy, and she makes a good point. And it got a lot of traction. And then apparently they were quote unquote.
She fell in love with Jeffrey Marsh.
No, like, yeah,
Oh.
that'd be hilarious. Well, it won't be hilarious, but it'd be kind of hilarious. It'd be ironic.
Yeah.
She apparently got literal death threats and people like posting the schools that her two children went to, the times they get dropped off, like all this shit. And so she posts like, hey, I apologize, I'm taking it all down, I don't want this, please leave me alone, blah blah blah, right? Complete cave 180 because she's just like terrified. And then after that, Jeffrey Marsh posted a video that maybe it's not towards this, but he posted a video that was something along the lines of, thank you for supporting me and thank you for being a trans ally in this. And I'm like, that's not okay. And I don't think that you should be, and maybe that wasn't what he was talking about, but it certainly seems that way, right?
Sure.
And it's like,
Well,
what are we promoting here?
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's why I'm saying I don't know, but it certainly seems that way. And mostly it's super heartbreaking for this woman because she was just doing something she thought was right, calling out something she thought was not okay.
Sure.
And now she's literally terrified that her children are going to be attacked or killed or
we
whatever.
have sick people on the internet. I cannot stress this enough. These people are either A, have no conscience, or B, are so damaged that they believe posting the schedule of when someone's children get released from school is okay, right? Like that somehow, if you believe that somehow scores you points somehow, right?
Like that's a good thing to do in any circumstance.
The thread. You have lost it, right?
The problem is this doesn't refute what she said at all, right?
No,
it doesn't.
It never does.
It's just like, I don't know. That shit fucking pisses me off.
That's why dogpiling is so evil. It doesn't refute anything. It just silences
Shuts it down. Yeah.
The points are still there. That's why violence is not the answer.
That poor. I feel so bad for the ladies.
Maybe someone who posts that kind of hate stuff, maybe they should get punched in the mouth. You know, I can't say some people don't deserve a good fucking
The thing is,
shot
when
to
you
the mush.
the thing is, do you think that having some sort of online accountability, like say everyone on Twitter had to have like some sort of identification linked to their account, right? So we knew, like, if Joe Blow 7681314553 whatever 15 numbers, if that was actually Knox, and he went and posted something negative, we could link it to him, right?
Yeah.
Do you think? Yeah, you like the numbers?
One, I do think it's a good idea, but two, this reminds me of like sometimes I see these TikTok accounts of like they go through someone a woman's Instagram and they find like the most sexist comments, and
Yeah.
then they try to track down who these people are,
Wait, who
Have
does
you
this?
seen these videos? Just whoever the TikToker is.
They go and find the most sexist comments and just
Yeah, they find this either sexist or creepy comments that people have made on a woman's videos, and then they find out who the men are.
like IRL. They like dox them.
Not. I mean, they don't tell you where he lives, but they'll get us. They'll be able to see what
Picture of
all
this
their
person,
other
or-
accounts are, what their Facebook is, or what their this is, or what their that is, or whatever. That's what that reminds me of. That's the quote unquote accountability, because people feel like they gotta. I think some people think of themselves as these vigilantes, right?
Oh, for
Well,
sure.
no one's going to take these weirdo comments or people who are trolling online. No one's going to make them accountable for their words. So hey, I'm going to do it. If you're going to post this shit, I'm going to fucking research the fuck out of you, bro. All right, I'm going to find out who you are, post it, or some of these will like send messages to their wives and or parents.
Oh, and be like,
"Hey,
look
did
what
you-
this person's posting.
yeah.
on.
Did you know your son is posting this stuff?" Which to me is the most hilarious shit.
That is kind of funny. And the thing is, it's like, it's innocent enough. Like, you're not threatening people's lives. That's really where the line is like, the big line is for me. Like, people's livelihood, people's lives, that sort of shit. When it starts getting to that, it's like, you guys are fucking scumbags.
Well, I mean, to me, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously that is a line, but I also don't like, I hope you get cancer and die or whatever.
I mean, yeah, that's super shitty too. Like, anytime, or like
worse.
go Kermit, dude. Like, it's like, what are you saying, dude? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Even if you wish somebody dead, which that should be listen, if the line where you wish somebody, if the bar for wishing somebody dead is low for you, you got to talk to somebody. Okay.
oh yeah, like,
You
you
know?
took my blue buff. I hope you die.
Right. Or my cloud song. You know what I mean? It's like, no, my guy, you gotta rein it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So it should be reserved for the worst atrocities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not someone who's like posting a critique of Jeffrey Marsh.
Yeah. It's
So yeah, that's shitty.
it's
But these people wield. But I gotta be honest with you. We're going to be entering a world in which Jeffrey Marshes are going to become more and more common. Right?
It's
They're just going to develop
unsettling,
these
man.
cults, and they're going to unleash them upon the world at their whim.
well,
All right. And at some point, they in the past they have been able to be shamed into stopping. But I feel like as time goes on, we're just going to get people who are worse and worse, and cannot be shamed. Will not be shamed into stopping.
well,
whatever
we're
it is they're
absolving
doing.
shame. No one should feel shame ever anymore, right? That feels like it feels like something
Yeah.
that we've tried to progress towards, and it's like, well, there
Well-
could be areas for shame, man. Like, something should be
I
shamed.
mean, again, there's a difference between shame and guilt, right? Shame is
Ooh,
something
I think we
put
touched on this
other
before,
people.
right?
Yeah, we did.
Say it again. What is it?
Shame is something we put on people. Guilt is something we feel ourselves.
And you're saying we
And
shouldn't have shame ever?
Generally, we try to shame someone who we think doesn't feel the appropriate amount of guilt. That's, I think, what shame is trying to do with, I think, minimal results.
With minimal?
I don't think it's as effective as we believe it is, but who knows?
Do you think we should try to eliminate shame and just, or like, what's your take on that? Do you think there's a place for shame in society?
I can't say there's no place for it. I feel like it's its current place is overblown.
Yeah.
I feel like its historic use, which is basically,
The big stuff.
religious people shaming other people's non-religious behavior or behavior that goes against their religion
Right.
is one of the worst examples, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth to saying shame should is a useful tool for something. You know
I
what I
see
mean?
what you're saying. You don't want to. You
So
don't want to be
it
folded into that.
immediately if anyone is attempting to shame, it immediately calls into question the shamer, right? Where is the authority of the shamer? What authority do they have that that casting out shame on someone else is just,
Sure.
right? So there's questions around that. I don't know if I'm comfortable saying it shouldn't exist, period,
Yeah.
because I feel like there are people who are not appropriately guilty enough for the dumb or bad shit they've done. You know?
I mean, the real problem is like everything is relative. So what one person thinks is shameful, another isn't, right?
And also shame is also a tool of it can be a tool of the powerless, right? Because they have no other avenues of accountability, they
Shame the
rely
power.
on shame,
Yeah.
right? They rely on shame to instead use as an outlet or as a substitute because they don't wield enough power to, actually hold people accountable for the shitty things
Yeah.
they do.
Well, it's also especially if the power is related to popularity, right?
Right. I
Then
will
shame
say
is
that
like,
if
hey.
you if you dock somebody, right, or you go after someone's children, or you make death threats against somebody, and you don't feel bad about it, you should
Shame 'em.
be walked through the streets with the nun ringing the bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Naked too,
So-
right, Stas?
Yeah,
Pervert.
naked too.
Um,
Walked into that one.
what was I gonna say? Fuck. We're talking about shame. I lost it. There's something I was gonna say. The bell visual really threw me off.
Yeah, and now you're thinking about naked Cersei.
She had it coming. That was on her.
Yeah, I agree. She should have been shamed.
She should have been shamed.
But
Proper shaming.
perhaps for the wrong reasons, right? I don't know.
They're trying to shame Sam with that art, right? That's kind of shaming. Like, hey, you don't feel guilty enough for doing this piece of art.
Well, yes. Well, I guess obviously they took it to the situation in which Sam. It was a dude, woman,
Dude, yeah,
non-binary. What are
Sam.
we talking?
Sam does art.
Well, okay, could be Samantha, bro.
I know. I'm just letting you know.
Anyway,
But also, you should learn this
maybe
shit.
they thought he wasn't feeling guilty about trying to make Bella Ramsey into a conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
That seems weird to say. A conventionally attractive girl.
Yeah, shame. Shame. Yeah, it's heartbreaking because that video of the Muslim woman that she's just fucking crying her eyes out,
I feel
terrified.
like, and again, we're gonna go back to education here because I feel like what children really need, and maybe this would help in general and not just online, but children need lessons in empathy because
It's I feel like that's such a
It's-
hard thing to teach. Like,
it is a hard thing to teach, but that doesn't mean we don't teach it. You know
well,
what I'm
no,
saying?
I agree, but I
And I
mean,
feel like a lot of children, they have a baseline for empathy and they either lose it, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like,
jaded and shit.
instructed out of them, not necessarily by a teacher, but from a parent or some other party, right? It's
Yeah.
replaced with hatred, right? Or fear or distrust of the other.
Yeah.
And so we don't see people as people anymore. We see them as either obstacles in our way, of stepping stones, or just in general less than them.
Yeah.
And I feel like we need a real narrative,
A cultural
Just-
shift.
a cultural shift in the importance of empathy, right? Because I don't want to call it, it's not uniquely human, right? I think animals are capable of it to some degree, especially like bonobos and shit. But
Bonobos.
well, they're like one of the most social primates.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so important to, I don't know, human flourishing, to borrow a phrase from Aristotle.
Good old Airy. I think there's. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and well, the thing is, it's like empathy. We don't place any value on empathy, on being an empathetic person. There's no value in it, right? Especially in America, but other, competitive capitalistic societies as well. There's no advantage from empathy. So it's just kind of tossed out,
I think,
right? Essentially what school is preparation for a job.
yeah. Well, school's supposed to be a preparation for life, not just job, right?
Yeah, you would think that. And yet they don't teach you how to do taxes.
Right. And the thing is, I will say, like, empathy in general isn't useful to other people. It's, or like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't teach it because, like, no one uses empathy at work, right? I mean, I guess maybe certain
no,
jobs.
you absolutely can. You
can, but
any dealing with another human being.
The problem is there's no logical evidence, or like there's no logical conclusion there, right? It's that, I don't know. I feel like education is a little more rigid and logical. It's more what is that,
okay.
left brain
So
or
let
whatever?
me respond to what Yuki's saying, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I think too much empathy is too bad because then you kind of get stepped on, or you feel things too hard and it becomes debilitating. I'm going to get philosophical on you, okay? I don't know if you're familiar with I don't know if you've been. Oh, we're gonna get to Larla's comment too, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been trained a little bit in the ways of ethics, but basically Aristotle believed in virtue ethics, which means virtue are what, like, the building blocks of good behavior, right? That people being virtuous is what makes people good.
Yeah.
Okay. And you practice and what a virtue is basically a mean between the extremes. So if we believe empathy is a virtue, then that means there could be such thing as too much empathy or too little empathy, right? So being not empathetic at all is to be basically like a sociopath, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't believe other people exist. That
Right.
would be the extreme. But then there would be too much empathy, which would, I think, be a pushover,
Yeah.
which is what Yuki's saying.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't believe virtue ethics, you don't buy this explanation, right? But it kind of fits well with that
It's
narrative.
interesting because I didn't know that was what that was. I kind of came to that conclusion on my own that, like, pretty much with anything, you need to figure out if you're too far one way or the other and push yourself the other way, because almost no one is in the middle, which is, I think, is ideal, right?
Yeah.
With
well,
aggressiveness,
virtue ethics
like,
isn't particularly popular anymore. But yes, that's the idea of virtue ethics.
that fucking definitely, I relate. Wow, I'm losing my voice. I relate to that very well. I think everything, people are too far one way or the other, and you have to strive towards the other side.
But I think I disagree with the idea that being a pushover is a matter of too much empathy. I feel like the issue is not being too empathetic. The issue is not knowing, is to being paralyzed in inaction, right? Like you can be empathetic with somebody and still be like, I can't do this, or
I see what you're saying.
Boundary or whatever.
You're saying, like, so I can be empathetic with someone and understand their situation, but still think they're incorrect, or still not allow it to affect me in a negative way or something like that.
Sure.
And I would agree. I see what you're saying there. I do think that maybe it's having empathy without assertiveness.
Sure. Or regard for, yes.
And
without regard for, into your own needs.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I see a lot of that in people online, if I'm being honest.
So it's interesting to think about in that way, even if you're not really a virtue ethicist. But yeah. But okay. Also, I want to hop over to Larla's point, which says, we're counteracting my daughter's empathy with jujitsu. Okay, we're gonna get to that too, right? Okay, anyway. She said, I'm supposed as a nurse, but it's been squished real hard, right? Okay, so this is an issue, I think, with doctors and nurses, is that they have to deal with people all day, right? And they have to deal with, like, people at their absolute worst. So in order to, like, be someone who
suppressed?
Devoting, yes.
In order to be
someone who is devoting their lives to helping people, you have to be kind of a dick, almost. You have to be, you can't have empathy because it basically ruins things.
Well, for me, when I think about, and I don't have any experiences, this is just like my my idea of it. Any of these jobs where you have other people's lives in your hands, at some point you have to callous up, or you're gonna fucking just get destroyed by sorrow.
Sure. And it's just the exact opposite of what you would expect. You would expect someone who cares for you to be caring, and obviously there is some of that, right? But you can't. It's like you
it's
can't do the job and be that.
right. It's unreasonable, and it's such. I don't think people appreciate that enough about these jobs. Any jobs where there's other people's lives in your hand, the amount of responsibility and stress that alone has to take on you. I mean, have you ever had anyone die in front of you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, neither have I. And I've had very few relatives die, like where I know them and I went to a funeral, or like even friends. Like I could count it on two hands probably. But like, I gotta imagine these people deal with that on the reg.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's a survival technique, but yeah, it's just an interesting thing to think about that we want to believe these are the most empathetic people that exist, but it's not really the case.
it's just got to be so emotionally taxing.
Yeah, it has to. Well, yeah, you have to learn how to deal with that. I feel like in maybe it also it may have caused you you have to work. I think you have to like monitor it, right? I would think you'd have to worry about it spilling over into the rest of your life.
Oh, I'm sure it's something that needs to be checked, right? This is just the psychological impact of something like that. I mean, it's kind of similar to like when soldiers go off to war and deal with like death, right? Anything dealing with death is gonna fucking just weigh on you, especially when it's right in your face all the time.
Sure. And I would imagine that's why nurses and doctors are probably big fans of gallows humor and all that other nonsense because you
Dude,
just gotta
And then
you gotta
even worse,
manage it somehow.
even worse for nurse and doctors when it's like how you can separate yourself from the guilt. Like if you make a mistake or you start thinking about things you could have done differently and someone
Sure.
could have lived. I don't know how. I genuinely
Which
like.
is kind of like okay, like you know how like there's been talk about like jobs that are really good for sociopaths or psychopaths,
Yeah,
you know?
I haven't
It's
heard that, but
almost
then,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's almost like I want to almost say I want my surgeon to be a sociopath, you know?
Yeah,
Because
just
I want my guy, I want him the only thing he's worried about is like his record, you know? I want him worried about like I'm the fucking top-notch ass surgeon. No one's going to top me, and the only thing stopping me from dying is his unwillingness to mar his perfect record. You know what I mean?
hold on. Can I just let me let me pick at that a
Or her,
second.
or her.
Let me just pick that.
I've gendered them, but they don't have to be a dude or.
Isn't that kind of like leaning towards capitalism instead of socialism?
Not
Like
really.
capitalist healthcare instead of socialist healthcare?
No, not
You
at
don't
all.
think
That's
so?
a whole different ball. That's a whole different thing.
But isn't that in the direction of like the pride and the value of like climbing the stats or whatever? Like that's not typical in.
Yes, but it's just that I feel like that attitude is going
No,
to
I
serve
I
well.
agree, and I'm pushing it a bit, but
Yeah.
it's a funny thing to think about.
Okay, but okay, let me get to another point.
Yeah.
Back to what Larla was saying, in that her daughters are doing jujitsu. So I go camping with my cousin Jim and my other
Jimmy.
cousins in the chat. Yeah, and so they have people of their family, the people of it's mostly their family. So like they're the other, so
You're the outsider.
they're on my mom's side, and then their father's side of the family with the part I'm not related to, they go camping, but I go camping with them. So
Cool.
it's like this big mess of people, only some of which I'm related to. Okay.
Yeah.
But I've known them basically my entire life.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a couple there. A cousin of Jim's him and his wife have a boy and a girl, right? And the boy is, I don't know what he's like 9, 10, right? But this kid is a giant because they're basically come from a family of giants, right? And like this
Damn.
kid's tall, right?
Could have
And
shared a
all the-
little bit with you guys, huh?
Yeah, I know. Fuck off, you know what I mean? But this kid's big, right?
Yeah.
But he's a gentle giant, right? Like he's not aggressive, he's a super nice boy, right? And they were talking about like, oh, we got to get him into football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because his mom was complaining, oh, he's not aggressive enough,
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything because, that's not my kid. I'm not raising him. But
Right,
it was
right.
like, come on. It's like, it's okay for this boy to be nice.
Yeah.
Why do we need to like train it out of him? What are we doing here?
Well,
Why is this a thing?
to her credit, I think that it's not a bad thing to expose them to being able to be aggressive. right? Because so that he doesn't like, so that in the future when there is a situation where he needs to be aggressive, he knows how to do it, right? Where he needs to not let people walk over him.
I mean, this kid is nobody's walking over him.
Yeah, but they could in other ways, like not physically, right? Like maybe at the workplace.
I don't know how football helps you navigate social situations exactly.
I think that physicality gives you confidence in a way that lets you kind of stand up for yourself or that sort of stuff. I think there's a strange confidence that comes from being physical. I
didn't say he was a pushover though. I said he was kind and empathetic. Do you understand?
Well, I thought that you're implying
right?
by him being empathetic.
It's not that he was weak. Again, this is an issue. I feel like we conflate empathy with weakness. This is a problem with empathy. I think in modern society.
I see what you're saying.
We believe it devolves into being less, not sticking up for yourself.
I see what you're saying, but I think that there's a reason for that conflation, and it's because people who are extremely empathetic are almost exclusively the ones who get taken advantage of.
Yes, I get it, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Just because nicer people get taken more advantage of, right? Maybe there's some sort of correlation between being empathetic and being naive. I would love to see some science on this, but I don't necessarily believe that is the case. I think we like to believe a naive person is more empathetic. However, I think I don't know.
But it's not even just naive, because naive means like you just kind of believe things, right? You just kind of.
Yes, that's how people get taken advantage of.
I don't think is that? I never really thought of it like that, because I thought of it as like people who are empathetic are just like, they're willing to bend over backwards for other people too. They tend to be more given because they see the
okay, well let's suppose that's true. I'm going to grant you that.
Okay.
That empathetic people get taken advantage of more. That's not the fault of the empathetic person.
It's not the fault of the empathetic person.
Yes, the lesson to be learned is not to be less empathetic. The lesson to be learned is don't take advantage of people.
Yes, but
it's like we'd want to train out these beneficial traits. It's like we don't want altruism to exist because, hey, someone's going to take advantage of you.
I think you want both. I think you want both for sure. I think a good person has both, because they can be empathetic, but they also won't get railroaded by someone who's not empathetic.
Yes, I understand that, but I feel like for the past several decades, perhaps longer, the pendulum has been way too far on the side of non-empathetic.
Maybe, but I think that there's nothing wrong with promoting, like you say, we should train people to. The problem is, anytime we're talking about self-improvement, it has to be about what we can do as the person in control, right? Like saying like other people who need to stop being assholes. It's like, well, yeah, but that's not in our control.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying about education is that's why it needs to be like in a school or wide ranging, so that everybody knows, right? So that we can reach the future trolls of America of the world.
Empaths attract sociopaths. Yeah, that's probably true. That sounds like it could be true to me. It's like the line in the lamb thingy. Yeah, what does this say? Well, I know Dave Chappelle has a line that his mom said. That's where I first heard it anyways. It's like, you have to be a lion so you could be the lamb you truly are, or something like that.
Okay. I mean, a lot of these cliches warrant further analysis, but there may be some truth. There may be some truth.
Right. I think there is definitely a kernel of truth. I think the other one is like, better be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war.
I mean, that's like, that I already have issues with, because it's like, what? Better to just be an unfeeling killer all the time?
They're not saying about being an unfeeling killer. That's
what a warrior is. Warriors kill, and they have to be okay with it.
Okay, but I think you're taking it a little literally, and it's probably more like you need to be able to like in this example, physically defend yourself so that you can, right? Like, obviously this is like more of olden times, right? But if a warring nation came to your gates, you need soldiers to defend yourself, and you don't want gardeners defending you. But if there is no warring nations, it's okay to be a warrior in the garden doing your garden shit.
Okay, I don't know. What kind of olden times are we talking about?
I don't know. Maybe it's Aristotle shit. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, like even if it's not war and killing, the idea, the sentiment, I think, is still valuable today.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Gardeners know about fertilizer, and guess what fertilizer makes? Fucking explosives. I suppose. I don't know. I feel like we could do with a lot less warriors around. I feel like we could do with a lot less analogies to battle.
I don't think, but the thing is, I don't think you're going to get rid of battles. You're not going to get rid of confrontations and conflict.
I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying let's stop making everything to be a battle, right? Because war is a very common analogy. Like, I think the only more common analogies people use are sports analogies, which you know how I feel about those.
Yeah, you love war and sports. But hold on, that's not even. It doesn't even have to be to that level. Even in a conversation, you can be a pushover just in a conversation of ideas, right? You have to, like, it's a lack of, like, it's almost, the quote-unquote war is being okay with conflict. And I think you need, like, it's important to be okay with conflict and confrontation. It'll happen within your own family, right?
I guess, yeah.
And there's,
how are you with conflict?
I think I'm generally pretty good with conflict.
Yeah,
I avoid physical conflict because I'm not dumb. But shut up. If you hate conflict?
I mean, real conflict.
What do you mean by real conflict?
I mean, let's imagine you and Mick are like about not to come to blows, but you're having a real serious disagreement.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Okay, that's okay. You're okay with that? That doesn't. It's like you're not trying to avoid that.
It's not that I'm okay with it, but you need to be able to. You need to be able to stand your ground to some level. It doesn't mean you have to be a dick and be like, "Fuck you, I'm always right," or "I'm never gonna reflect on my own stuff." But it means like you're not just like, "Okay, yeah, whatever you say goes." Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, there's a meekness that, where there may be some place for that somewhere in your life. There is definitely a very necessary part. And the reason I'm baffled that you say it is because you're very good at confronting things. Maybe not to the point where like we're raging at each other, which has happened once or twice in our friendship. But generally speaking, generally speaking, like if you disagree with me on something, we'll sit there and talk. It's one of the things I like most about you. We can disagree and have that confrontation. Confrontation isn't always evil or violent.
I'm not thinking of conflict in those terms.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And because I say that because I think I grew up in a way where I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I didn't like confrontation. I came from that. And I grew, I don't even know how it happened. Like, just as I got older, maybe, I don't fucking know. I gained confidence so I can disagree with people and I can say, here's my opinion, or I'm open to learning, it's scary stuff, right? Disagreeing with people can be scary, especially when you start.
I'm doing it at work this week. It sucks.
Oh, why? What's happening?
Because people don't know how math works. So I had to stand my ground and tell them how math works.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the other side of empathy that I think, or that's the quote unquote warrior in the garden, because otherwise you just be like, well, I gotta fucking do this extra work because these idiots don't know how to do. And then also I think that actually breeds like resentment in empathetic people who won't confront things. It breeds this resentment that can turn into super like even worse things.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my point is that that's not empathy's fault. That's an incorrect response to that's an incorrect response to empathy. You know what I mean? It's how to handle it.
That's what I was.
Not empathy itself.
That's what I was saying. I think it's not necessarily empathy. It's a lack of assertiveness or confidence to be able to like, because like I said before, I think you can be empathetic to people's situations and still feel for them and that sort of stuff, and then still say, I understand how you got there, and I feel bad. Like I get how this is affecting you. Or whatever empathy is to you, and you can still say, hey, but that's not okay, or that's not right, or you're wrong, right?
Sure.
Like for example, if my niece asks for a second piece of birthday cake and we say no, and she starts crying and throwing a temper tantrum, I empathize with her, right? I get it. Like, you want the sugar, you want to, and she has to go to bed, right? And do you want to stay up and have fun, blah blah blah,
right?
But she's still
and then
wrong.
You say that wouldn't look good in your food journal.
yeah, but you can still say that's still wrong.
Yeah,
that's still wrong, and that's not how. Like, I'm not going to stand
show
for
her
it.
a picture of me and be like, "Is this what you want to end up like?
This is your future, little girl.
You want to celebrate being down, quote unquote, to 188? That's not.
You're doing
what you
great,
want.
buddy. You're doing
We
great.
want better for you.
A good first step, and if it gets measured, it gets managed.
I mean, it's a very useful tool.
Yeah.
Especially in media, because think of you remember Unbreakable? Remember the movie Unbreakable?
Was that
with
Was that Denzel? No. Was that Denzel?
No. It was even the mention of Denzel has blanked my mind for the actual people. Samuel L. Jackson.
That's it. Okay, yeah. That was a Shyamalan, right?
Yes,
Shyamalan?
he was Mr. Glass, and he had this incredibly sympathetic backstory, right?
Yeah.
But this incredibly sympathetic backstory turned him into the villain. So it's like we can understand him and we empathize with him, right? But we can also reach the point where we know what he's doing is wrong.
I think that's what makes a good villain, is when you can empathize, like Thanos. I think he was a good villain because it's like, oh, I see what he's saying, right? He saw his people starve to death. He thought it was so horrible, right? He endured this horrible pain. So I can empathize with how he came to that conclusion, but he's obviously still fucking wrong.
Yeah, but I think too much of that, especially in media, leads us to the point where people who don't understand empathy, or they're just not good with it, they believe Thanos is actually good.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Like,
Thanos
you think
the Thanos did nothing wrong crowd,
I mean, I don't think that's you think that's too much empathy?
No, I think that's not enough.
Oh.
I think we utilize.
I see. You're saying, well,
utilize the relatable villain too much, that people relate overly with the villain.
Too much to the villain.
Think what the villain's doing is actually
I know what you're saying, because I've seen
you're a Thanos.
A Thanos. I've seen where people are like, a lot of people like glamorize like the guy Tony Soprano, right? And like they always like have like the Sigma male like TikToks of like certain things where you can see it, and you see him like do like super aggressive things, or you like, oh wow, what a badass. But then like this guy was doing some like video essay or whatever, and he's like, people don't understand that Tony Soprano was actually the bad guy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They don't. People do not consume media with any sort of critical eye. They think mafia cool, and it just goes from there, or whatever the show may be or the case may be. People think. Did we talk about Warhammer 40,000? People think. No, I talked about that. That was Boatboy. People think the Space Marines in Warhammer 40,000 are the good guys
because they hear Marine.
It couldn't be further from the truth. They sacrifice 1,000 people a day to the Emperor. You know what I mean? They hate everything that's not human. It's like they're not the good guys. The whole point of the universe is that nobody's a good guy.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that, because when you get into a video game where you're in Warhammer, you're playing the Space Marines.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I don't think it's completely necessary for people to have to.
They don't have to engage with it at that level to enjoy it.
Right,
yes.
right. Some people just want to fucking turn their brain off and enjoy a game, and that's okay.
I get it, but then that leads. I think it.
Well, they don't have such a strong opinion on it.
Yes, exactly. It's just like, hey, this is just some popcorn shit I like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there and stand the Blood Wolves or whatever the fuck they're called.
When I'm watching fucking Transformers, I'm not sitting there like, yeah, you know what? Megatron had a point.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Fuck Optimus.
It's like, wait a minute here.
Hold on. Optimus? You didn't tell me this.
Optimus is the oppressor.
Yeah.
Okay. We are at 2 hours and 46 minutes. I think we're I think it's a good stopping point.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
It was
yeah.
good. It was a lively one. I could have kept going.
I think we had a very. You know what?
Yeah, no,
We're
it's
down.
a good
We're
cutoff.
down, people. But I feel like this was a very good episode.
Probably our best to date.
We started off very strong. I feel like, at least.
We ended strong too. Maybe there's a
Well, we
little.
had a good. No, yes, I agree. We did have a good discussion after the main after the main show, after the thing we planned to talk about.
Yeah.
But let's get to our homework assignments before we go.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did I miss the diet
Marla,
diary?
You
Yeah.
missed the diet diary, and go back and watch the VOD.
Yeah.
You were essentially the weren't you one of the you were like the impetus for keeping the food journal in the first place.
Yep.
Okay. What's homework this week? Here's my homework assignment for you. Okay.
I'm listening.
I'm going to give you a list of people we know. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Me and you are going to be included. You need
DLS. Dick sucking.
what
Oh, no,
is
that's
DLS?
wrong.
Yeah,
I was thinking of
that's what
DSL.
it was. What is DLS?
I don't know.
Downloads? Okay.
Daddy
listen,
long
okay.
stockings.
Okay. Here's your assignment.
Oh,
I'm gonna
daylight
send you a
savings.
list. Oh, I
Shit.
see. Okay, I got you.
I
Well,
got
guess
bad
what?
news for you, Larla. We're not doing it anymore. That was the last one. So this is just the schedule for the rest of our lives.
Anyway, go ahead and watch the VOD. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Here's your homework assignment. I'm going to
Okay.
give you a list of people. What you need to do is you need to assign them an ancestry and a class and an alignment, D&D style.
Of like my perception of them as a person?
Yes.
An
What do
ancestry?
you see them as?
An ancestry, a class, and an alignment?
Yes.
Um.
Ancestry used to be called race.
Oh, okay. They changed it to ancestry?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the list of people. You're going to, and I'm going to have the same list for myself, and then we're going to compare what we think about everybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
And
that's gonna be good.
next week we'll talk about it. We'll talk about everybody's D&D class and ancestry.
Can you include me in that too?
Sure. That one will just be a says only because I don't know enough about you, Yuki, to really have an opinion.
You knew about as much as I do. That's not true. I definitely know more. I just want to know who I am. I don't have that answer for you, Ukes.
Okay, what's your homework assignment?
My homework
We need to
assignment.
talk about that.
Oh yeah, okay. So I so often see videos online on the timeline, and one of the things that tilts me is when people make very strong claims about things that kind of like it's enticing, right? It's enticing and you want like it seems believable for whatever reason. But I think that it's very often half true. This is obviously usually political sphere, right? And it's very often I feel like it's half truths at best, or it's interwoven with truths so that it seems more believable. And maybe these people aren't doing it on purpose. It's not like I'm saying that, but like I feel like anytime I see this kind of stuff, I need to fact check it myself, and it's exhausting.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna try to do a video like this for next week. So I already picked out the video. Should we show it now or should we?
No.
Yeah.
We'll show it next week.
Yeah, after we do.
We're just doing this one video. I mean, it's already a lot of things to look for.
Yeah, there's a lot in this video. And part of it seems like fear-mongery, and I just hate all of that, everything about that. I want to know. We're gonna dig it down into the truth and see how much of this is true, how much of it is kind of half truth, how much of it is bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've known this podcast has to be a no research podcast, but now we will engage in the research.
We're upgrading.
Yeah,
we're
and
evolving.
He's in trouble if he thinks he's gonna come at me with some facts, because I'm a former librarian. So I don't know if
we're going against each other.
Oh, are we? I mean,
no,
sometimes
I thought we just
might have. Well, I mean, sometimes we're gonna check for the facts, and sometimes we're gonna pump and then repump.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can have whatever, we can discuss it or whatever. But generally speaking, I was more interested in just trying to be as objective as we can about this and be like,
yeah,
here's what she's talking about, and this is what's actually happening in this bill or whatever she's,
Yes, I used to be a librarian. Yes, I know, but I was trying to make it sound more exciting in relation to the show. That's called Pump and Repump.
Stas and I are going to fight to the death next week.
You bring your tier 1 frog guys, and I will bring a few books.
Yeah, guess what happens in that scenario?
Yeah, I die.
Yeah, pump and repump, baby. Speaking of, we do need to do we'll have to set a day. I don't know what day we want to do, but we'll have to set a day where we do our Game Olympics. We still have to do that. Or did we decided not to do that for the podcast? Was that a podcast thing or not a podcast thing?
We can do it for the podcast or not. We could probably do it on Tuesday as well. It doesn't matter. And then we could do it on Tuesday and talk about the results on the podcast. How about that?
Well, that's not going to last very long. Results? I don't know, whatever. But I think
it doesn't have to last long. We can just talk about it for 20 minutes.
I guess I kind of, what the fuck? Whoa.
What was that?
I went to click my phone to look at the time, which I don't know why because my time's in the bottom right, but I just went to look at my phone and somehow I activated the quote unquote emergency SOS and I had to turn it off real quick. I didn't even know my phone could do that. But I think it would be interesting if we did the Game Olympics with some sort of, we gotta find some sort of gimmick where we like do a game and then like maybe we have something like chess boxing.
Do we do a punishment game?
I don't know, maybe, but like chess boxing where there's more than just playing games. It's like there's some sort of dynamic going on there that makes it a little more interesting. Obviously, we can't box, but
yeah, lucky you.
You're gonna rabbit punch me,
bro. Your kneecaps would be done.
The tender little meatballs on the tens of my thighs. Don't have emergency.
Right,
I don't know. I guess.
Good.
All right, guys. So we'll be doing the video breakdown, and then also we're gonna be doing
D&D, the D&D
IRL
representation of everybody we know.
Yeah,
of a lot of people we know.
If they were D&D characters.
Yes.
All right. So that'll be next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Tuesday we're gonna have our normal game time, hanging out, checking out a new game.
Who knows what we're gonna play? We don't know yet.
No, yeah, this time we don't. Last week